Cool.
Holy shit, look at all these assholes here on one show at one time. We already started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different people in the broadcast. Welcome to BOZOFEST 2022. Woo! Everybody! Hey! Looks like that looks awkward. Yay! Welcome into the show. This is just whatever it's going to be. Never tried this before. I gave the link out to as many people as I could think of. If I didn't give you the link for some reason, that's my bad. I did not mean it intentionally. I just kept spamming it to as many people as I could think of, and then I spammed so much that Twitter cut me off, where it was like, oh, this looks like spam. You can no longer message people. So it's nothing personal. Get your ass in here, find the link. I've got the shrimp boat captain himself.
What's up?
Mr. Boatlock. What's up, Graham?
I'm doing a draft. Just took Corbin Burns at 7.
Oh, Corbin Burns at 7. Excellent. We got Joe Gentile. Joe, I have not seen you in forever. It's great to have you here on the show and you popping in, man. How are you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm just hiding. I haven't actually drafted a fantasy team at all this year, so I got my first draft. I have my first draft coming up tomorrow. So.
No shit. What's up with that? What's the story on that? Why is that the case now? You just.
So less fantasy baseball, and I'll show you a picture. Less fantasy baseball, more baseball cards.
Oh shit, you're getting into the trade game. Okay, I see you working. We got more to talk to. Mr. Doctor's here, Mike Carter, the legend himself. He is right on cue because we might have a deal going down with Taylor Rogers to San Diego.
Oh man, that would be really intriguing. I've been working all day. I was at school and working, and then I taught my graduate class from 6 to 8:30, and I'm still in my office at work hanging out with you guys for a few minutes until I have to go home and put kids to bed and then fall asleep probably face down on the couch. So
hell yes, dude. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Doctor. We love you.
Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Wow, dude.
Matt Goodwin is here. Matt, welcome.
Hey.
This is actually your debut technically on this show, is it not?
Yeah, I believe so. Thank you for spamming my Twitter, and I came just to see what this is all about. I figure it out from this side of the booth.
Who the hell knows? Of course, the legendary Rick Poundstone, who is not on camera. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Mr. Gopher, it's nice to finally meet you and speak with you, and I have to credit you. You do a lot of amazing audio production, much like myself, and I just heard that new Richard Pryor drop that you just played there a moment ago from the slap incident. So good job. It's good to be here with everybody, and I'm excited for baseball, everyone.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Yes, that's Richard Pryor. That's right, Rick. Well done, well done. It's great to have you, Rick. This is also your Palazzo debut. And Ty is here from the Dingers Pod. What's up, Ty?
What's happening, boys? How we doing? I'm in a similar boat as Mike tonight. I've ran through the office. I played 36 holes of the simulator golf, and now I'm here, and I got to jump to record hours after this. So, wanted to
Ty, you look
boys?
like you're ready to play poker.
Hey, you know what? When you go toe-to-toe with Robbie Baseball, you have to be able to bullshit. So that is what I'm an expert in, and that's where I'm going after this.
Sweet.
Hell yes, dude. This is awesome. I don't even know where to start here. Let's go back to Joe. Joe, you're not drafting this year, but who is a player right now? Give it to me. A player that nobody's talking about, or at least very few people are talking about, that will be basically somebody that's rostered on 15 teamers at the end of the year.
Oh, do I say it? Do I say it, Shrimp Boat? Do I say it, Mr. Captain?
Yeah, man, you're clear to launch.
I'm clear to launch. I think the season starts. How about NL Rookie of the Year, Cooper Hummel?
Didn't see that one coming.
Wow.
I'm putting the once BetGM actually puts his name on the bet odds, I'm putting some money down on that NL MVP. Or not MVP, sorry, Rookie of the Year. You know what? Give him MVP too. Why not?
Wow, holy shit. Yeah, that definitely deserves a wow, dude. Damn.
Wow, dude.
Cooper Hummel, why? Give me one reason why.
He walks, he hits the ball hard, he drives it. Dude, I don't think people paid attention to how good his minor league season was last year. I think he hit like, I can't remember off the top of my head, but like 280 with like a 400 OBP and was on pace for like 25, 30 home runs. He's a very solid, safe pick, at least, is what I'll say. And the Diamondbacks seem to like him.
Okay.
The other guy we were talking about today that I really like, who I don't know, it's going to be up to if he gets a chance or not, is Joe Mccarthy. He absolutely mashes the ball, and he is a monster human being. His forearms are about the size of both my legs put together.
Whoa!
Victory lap certified.
There it is. We're locking you in for a victory lap already before it ever happens, Joe. I like it. Mr. Doctor, I know you have a busy life. You have a son who plays baseball that you coach. You also write about baseball, for those that don't know. He's a bullpen guru. Mike, what is one player that we should pick up now who will get us at least 20 saves this year that maybe we don't know about?
That you don't know about? Well, I think that's a tough question. I think the Cubs bullpen is one that kind of looks interesting to me in terms of, potentially Rodriguez being the guy that could be the guy there. They don't really have anybody that's got a super amount of talent. Rowan Wicks really kind of had the job we thought by default. I don't think he's going to hold on to it. His skills aren't that good. David Robertson is older than me. Is not a good role for a closer. There are not too many of those Jamie Moyer types hanging around, right?
Are you Michael Givens? Are you pro Givens?
I don't know. I mean, he did a pretty good job in Cincinnati last year. The guy that I always talk about that I think is going to get a lot of saves this year once he's healthy is Lucas Sims from Cincinnati.
Really?
And I'm really interested in watching Seattle because I think the best arm in that bullpen is Andres Munoz, but I don't know what kind of an opportunity he's going to get. He's a guy that I'm stashing all over the place if I got space for him, especially with the injury to Giles now, especially with the injury to Casey Sadler. It opens up a real nice opportunity for him to dominate there. So those are a couple guys that I would be kind of, earmarking if I had an opportunity to stash.
Anybody disagree or agree with what Mike says? Just say it. Go say whatever the fuck you want.
Never disagree with Mike.
Oh, I'm very easy to disagree with. Ask the people around me. They do it all fucking day.
Hey-o. No one else then. Is that Rick?
No,
do you disagree?
I'll agree with him on Munoz. Munoz is hot, dude. If he comes back healthy and stuff, he's gonna be good.
Mr. Gentle, I appreciate what Mr. Gentle said, and it's always good to, if there is a hot dude out there like the Munoz, acknowledge that. So I appreciate both of those men's opinions.
Well, I love hot dudes, so I would love to see more hot dudes available, as always. That's important to me, that everybody gets represented and everybody gets a chance to party. This is all about having fun, but learning something at the same time. Rick, who is your go-to number one can't-miss player this year? Possible MVP lurking in the weeds?
Well, I'll tell you right now, this one's very much lurking, and it's strange because a pitcher usually doesn't get, from what I hear, the most valuable player, but, I gotta go Trevor Bauer. I don't know where he's gonna be or where he's gonna sign, but I think I could see him going to that sneaky Devil Rays club. I don't know if anybody else thinks that, they don't care. They just got rid of that Meadows or Austin Meadows, and they don't care. They'll do what they need to do to win, and that's where I see MVP Bauer going.
Coors.
You been drinking, Rick?
Oh, I'm stone sober tonight. Me and the wife are just here having a couple of White Castles, and I'm just happy to see all these smiling faces and be here with all of you tonight, and I appreciate the invite.
Go Tigers.
Yeah, I'm happy that Austin Meadows is in Detroit now. I haven't drafted Austin Meadows anywhere. Ty, you're like one of my Tigers guys, even though you live in Canada. How do you feel about the Meadows deal?
I like it. I saw somebody posted this the other day about the left-handed pitching in the AL Central being really limited. It certainly helps Meadows. I mean, it's not the be-all, the end-all with us slowly moving towards a more balanced schedule overall. But I don't know. I think a guy that can hit 30 in that park makes the Tigers better, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just the reality. I like it for them. I like the reality is they don't really have a solidified first baseman. And I think that could be the play there. I don't know that it's necessarily a defensive ad. I think he squares up at the corner by the time we're all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, it's better than Victor Reyes. There's no argument here. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. Matt Goodwin, how much does Meadows' value go up for you now that he's in Detroit?
I like the move for Meadows. I mean, I like the move better for the opportunity that it creates in Tampa Bay for Lowe. I'm real excited about what he could do and the opportunity that he's going to get there. So I know that's not the question that you asked, but that's the answer I'm going to give.
Matt, you can say whatever the hell you want, however you want it. This is the Palazzo Podcast, of course. 2 L's, 2 Z's on this show. Rick, I don't know if you're familiar with how we do things here.
Give me 2.
That's something we say a lot. So, Rick, you could say 2 L's, 2 Z's. Go for it. Come on, Rick.
2 L's, 2 Z's.
Yeah, I knew you could do it. That's my man right there working it hard. Thank you, Rick. We appreciate your participation. The wife, very supportive. She's probably, next to Danielle Salinger, maybe the finest, most active wife in the fantasy baseball community as far as partnership goes. Leanne hates baseball. She doesn't hate it. She just gives a shit about baseball, so she doesn't really engage with me in my fantasy baseball
I've met her
world.
directly, and she is a very cool lady. You are a very lucky man. She's wonderful. I met her in Arizona at first pitch.
That is true. She definitely is. Oh, you
My
say
wife has no idea what I do, so she doesn't care. She's glad that I'm not speaking to anyone in the house when I'm engaging in fantasy stuff. Her famous quote all the time is, "You're good at fantasy because you're no good in reality." I think Katie Carter is right on that one.
That's a good one. I like what I'm hearing.
Put it on a
I
t-shirt.
want to meet her. That's way overdue, by the way. I need to meet her. JBM's commenting here. You guys can all comment in the live stream. If you want to ask any of these faces a direct question, this is your opportunity to do so. Good evening. I came across your podcast just the other day. Great content. I'm new to fantasy baseball. 3rd year, 2nd full year, coming from the Mount Rushmore state. All right. Fucking Dakota in the house. How about that?
Pretty sweet. Better than being from Illinois.
Nobody knows when to talk because there's too many goddamn heads on here. So I'll continue to direct the traffic. It's a lot easier. Fishboat, Boat Lock. He's drafting right now, so he's kind of consumed with his current draft. I would like to ask Joe, who I haven't seen in forever. Joe, at this point in the season, is it really possible to get any edge going into the first week right now? Because nobody really knows what's going to happen, but there's so many rosters that have been drafted. I've got 20 rosters that I'm staring at, trying to think, hey, should I pick up this guy right now? Can you drive yourself crazy overthinking the pickups here with the waiver wire now being available for most fantasy leagues?
Oh, yeah. I think you can especially get too cute with it. I think in years past, I often had my guys that I was set and dead locked on that I wanted, and it really hurt me. I remember, what was it, 2019? I decided that I was certain Peter O'Brien and Pablo Reyes were going to hit that year. They're going to be starters and be just fantastic, underrated players. And yeah, that one really hurt me. The other guy, there are 3 players, Reyes, O'Brien, and Dylan Moore. Now, Dylan Moore had a good 2020, but it was it really hurt my rosters not having like good depth pieces there.
Yeah, that's true. Right now, this Taylor Rogers deal could be fucking things up for everybody. So if that happens, I had Taylor Rogers. I drafted him back in October. In fact, when I did like my very first draft after the season ended, and I was thinking he would be the closer, but I remember some people telling me he might get traded, and now whoever said that to me could be right.
One thing I love in the first week too, guys, head-to-head in points, 5-out guys, trademark pending, right? Garrett Whitlock's, Garrett Richards, those guys, free wins, right? They're going to get little extra innings like mini starts, right? Those are great ways to sneak some extra value in that first week. Love that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Colin McHugh?
Jalen Beeks.
Let's keep it coming. Those are the guys.
I'll say Garrett
Jalen
Richards
Beeks
kind of scares me. I think Captain was in the message with Ryan Venasio, and I was messaging him while I was at spring training. Garrett Richards was pitching to, I think it was a high A team, and he ended up giving up, I think, 8 runs in 2 innings.
That's hot.
That's not
I was
good.
like,
That's not what you want.
I was like, holy smokes.
You know what I actually like for him end of season? I think he closes and saves the most games on that team.
He could.
On Texas?
Yeah. Like, he's got the Frisbee, man. Like, that plays, right? If you can just come in and throw the hammer, right? And he's never done that. Like, he's never been isolated to that in his career. Like, I love him for that transition this season.
He's just got his fastball's so weird because it's the spin direction's almost like straight noon, and so you think it would be high rise, but it works more like a sinker than a four seam, and I'm like, I just don't understand it. I gotta get like a one
ballpark plays too, right? Like, he's got the ballpark advantage there as well, right? So like I just think a really underrated piece because everybody has that what did he used to be mentality instead of what can he be. I love those guys. We call him T-post type, right? Like that's the guy that we love to bite on.
That's
big time.
There's a lot of different possibilities that could end up working out there. I've drafted Richards in a couple of places too. I'm in a reliever only league, and I drafted him with one of my reserve picks. So I thought the same thing. I'm like, this guy could really kind of come into his own there. I mean, if his only competition, Greg Holland is another closer that I think is older than me. So, I mean, it's another situation.
Wow, dude.
You know, I mean, it's wide open. Jose Leclerc is laying there in the weeds too in a couple of weeks. You know, so who knows?
Yeah, agreed.
Well, hey, we got a new member, though. We got to say what up to Lil Cheesecake. Art is in the house. Welcome to the show, Art. Meet Ty, Rick, Matt, Mike, Shrippo, Captain, and Joe. You know all these fools, probably.
I know a couple of these people. They've been on our show, that's for sure. Glad to be here. Glad to kick off opening day. Seems like I got to get on a stream the night before opening day every season. It's going to become a new tradition for me.
That's awesome.
And I hope we break the record. How are we doing on our record? Do we know what the record is for most analysts on one episode at one time?
I don't think we do. I don't think we have an official record keeping on that, but it's still early. Who knows where this thing will go? I know a lot of people that I hit up are drafting tonight. Obviously, Graham is drafting right now, but there are several people doing. There's a main event that's going on right now. I believe Bloomfield was in that, and maybe somebody else, and then some other big money leagues.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask? This is Rick Poundstone. Can I ask the Cheesecake gentleman where did the nickname come from? And now I guess that's pretty much it. How'd you get named Cheesesteak?
Cheesecake. Yeah, it's my rap alter ego, which came about from someone on Twitter said your rap name is Lil plus the last thing you ate, and it happened to be cheesecake. So I've been dubbed Little Cheesecake ever since then, and I think it fits. I think it sticks.
I love it. I love it, Rick. You got to get to know Lil Cheesecake as much as you can. We got a new guest, another one, the king himself, the ombudsman of fantasy baseball, the one and only Baseball Pod's in the house. Let's give it up for the man. We love you. It's so good to see you. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while, so I'm really glad you came on the show.
I'm here for the bozos.
Well, this is
yes. Yeah. Well,
thank you for joining the first annual Palazzo Podcast BOZOFEST.
There you go. That's a greeting just for you, Chris. Actually, you're just in time, Chris, because we have a question. I want to hit this question up about Mickey Moniak. This is from Anthony Fedora. Is he a starter for the Philadelphia Phillies this season and an over-under ballpark on games played? We'll start with you, Chris, then we'll go around.
No. He's not a starter, and he's going to play 50 games.
There it is. Is there something you don't like about him? You think spring is all bullshit? Is that basically what your contention is?
Yeah, I think he'll be fine, but I think he's already proven that I'll be surprised if he's more than what he has shown so far, which is not to be an everyday starter.
Fair enough. Let's go over to Cheesecake.
I'll give him more. I think he's got a role on the bench, so he'll get some time getting some at-bats. I'll give him 75 games. I don't think he's going to become a starter, though. They've signed a lot of players for that team this offseason.
That's true. Herrera will be back soon. Odubel Herrera. What about you, Ty? Mickey Moniak?
I'm going to be the leader in the clubhouse on this one. I'm a Moniak guy. He fits the team post hype profile in a very significant way. This is one thing, like, I know it's like spring training doesn't matter. Spring training does matter if you're watching, like, not stats, right? And this guy's learning how to hit. He is learning how to be a great hitter. And guess what? He learned how to hit for power. And what very few people notice, he hit a bunch of them in the last week and a half.
Mhm.
And where did he hit them? Oppo gap. Anytime I get Oppo talk about a lefty stick, let's go. I'm there all day, every day.
Wow. Okay. Ty is not. You're not fronting, man.
It seems like Ty should answer the first part of the question, which is all about him.
Yeah, the best part is though, is I've got the U.S.-Canada border, and ain't nobody getting in right now up here. So,
hey, I'm joining the crew soon, man. I'm going to be there. Get ready. We're going to go to a Jays game. We're going to get the whole Canadian crew, Graham, Zach, everybody. We got a lot of people to get together for a game. I can't wait to do that. But hey, Ty got on the record, and that's what we're trying to do here live on the first annual Bozo Fest from the Plaza Podcast.
Flawless victory.
Let's go over to Rick Poundstone. Rick, what do you got?
I've never heard of the Moniac, but what I gotta say is the Phillies, they've got a lot of bats. They brought in a lot of big boys, and they're gonna mash. I think I'm just gonna let a cat out of the bag. This is probably something we're gonna talk about, later on tonight. I think this Phillies team goes all the way to the big dance. I think this Phillies team goes to the World Series. Nobody gives a shit about defense anymore, and everybody's acting like it's going to be a big deal, and they won't be able to catch the ball. Defense doesn't matter. Phillies, I'm going to say it, they're going to the World Series this year.
Yes, 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 yes!
I don't know about that, but I've heard some rumors about that. Defense seems to matter in the playoffs a little bit more. I seem to recall a guy named Trent Grisham a couple years ago. A mistake was made. May have been costly. I mean, they still won, right? But, yeah. Let's go over to Matt Goodwin. Mickey Moniac, are you buying?
I think he's good. I don't see where he fits in. Like everybody else has said, there's so much talent on that team. They went out and they built a roster. I'm going to dodge your question and answer it the way I want to again, like I did last time. That's my thing. The one thing that I like the most about the news is him being really kind of upfront about his journey and his path and talking about journaling and how that kind of exploration and that self-awareness, he's given that credit for his success. So I'm rooting for him because I like that a lot. I like when people are open and honest about that sort of thing. I think it's really important for people who have that stage to talk about that stuff. I just don't see where he's going to squeeze in the at-bats on a consistent basis with that lineup.
Well said, Matt. I completely agree with all that. In fact, you and Jared Perkins have your own show where you talk about that regularly. What's that called again?
That would be the Baseball Project podcast. And we're doing a little figuring some things out, but hoping to come back strong. And the focus is mostly on the humanities side of baseball, the good, the bad, the ugly, and
Awesome.
and talk about those types of things because they don't get talked about all that much. And so trying to shine a light on that, and the more people that hear it, hopefully the more it gets talked about.
Here. I'm all for that. I know the next guy, Mr. Dr. Mike Carter, can absolutely get down with that. Mickey Moniac, you buying it?
Well, I think the hard thing I think here is the at bats. But here's the thing that I'm intrigued by. He's a 23-year-old guy. He seems like he's much older than that. He's got first-round draft pedigree. Somebody saw something in him long way back that made them think that he was going to be a guy that could be a contributor. Now, the problem is that they're kind of stacked in the outfield right now with a bunch of guys that can hit and like maybe one that can field. There's a path to playing time there, I think, depending on what happens with some of the extraneous bats that they have in their lineup. What's Alec Bohm doing? What's Stott going to do? There's going to be an opportunity here where he might actually be able to sneak into some value. The thing that intrigued me was that I read over the weekend that he worked with Kevin Long, who has been known to work some miracles with hitters in the past. And Kevin Long said it was the simplest fix that he's made in a swing for a guy that has this type of pedigree. That intrigues me when a hitting coach says that. The one thing that I worry about with him is he's kind of got a slight build, and I don't know about what the power is going to look like. But I could see him hitting 10 or 12 home runs if he gets an opportunity to do so and playing some good defense, which is going to be definitely lacking in the Phillies outfield, I think.
You have failed.
Yeah, it's possible. Sometimes you make mistakes, and those are called errors in baseball. Mr. Joseph Gentile, give me the Moniac love or hate. What is it?
In between. I mean, there's a lot of fear there. real life baseball, he's very aggressive hitter, very undisciplined, which will obviously hurt your value. Some swing and miss in his game, so he could go on a tear, but also there could be some like 0-30s in there. And power, I don't know what the power is going to look like, honestly. I'd say he has probably around league average power, give or take. That'll play up in Philadelphia, obviously, but guys, it's hard for a guy that doesn't walk, that doesn't have like one standout skill. Like if a guy doesn't walk, you almost want him to have Javier Baez type power where he can make up for it. I don't think Moniak has that.
Yep. Well said. Well said. Trippo, Captain, what's the bottom line of Moniak? I know you're loving it. But you got to unmute yourself. That's an important part of broadcasting.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have Rick here to unmute me. What's the bottom line on Moniak?
Yeah, you're in, right? You're all in.
Nah.
Oh.
I don't know, man. I'm just not going there. Like, what are the Phillies doing in center field? Who knows?
Matt Vierling season is upon us. Hey, we got a new guest too. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Speak your mind.
What was that Philly football movie where they just like had tryouts?
Invincible.
Invincible. They're fucking invincibling their center field situation.
It was based on a true story. That was a real human being. I bet some of the older folks here probably remember that, right?
I'm not going to comment.
Well, your beard says it all.
Old
so
folks are you're talking about? Who's old?
I'm 21.
You're 20. Rick is 21. That's amazing. Wow.
You know what the Phillies should do? They should trade with the Diamondbacks, who have like 12 outfielders right now.
They got to let Alec Thomas play. That's my guy.
Oh, bye. All right, well, let's get to the new guest. The Dap Scout is in the house. Dap Scout. I love Dap Scout. You can read his work. It's incredible work. I actually really have been drawn to your articles. Tell people about that, Dap Scout. Come on, you've never been on the show. This is your big debut on the Palazzo Podcast. Who else Tuesdays?
Utah. Give me two. Well, first of all, let me just say that anybody that just called slight build, I'm still trying to get over that, Mike. Like, I just want you to tell that to a baseball player to his face that he has a slight build, and so that I could protect you, because I don't have a slight build, and I think this guy. Well, I thought I had a slight build, and
I have what's called a Shrek build. So it's not so hot. I'll take Mickey Moniak on. I'll talk with him about it. I got no problem.
It's a simple fix. Look, we just take you and we take you to an all-you-can-eat kind of like buffet, and it's one of the simplest fixes of both his swing and his slight build. I think it's just an all-in-one, all-encompassing way to fix Mickey all the way through.
All right, wait. Breaking news. Hang on. Wait. I got to jump in here. So I got a new person who wants to pop in. Mr. Doctor, did you say you had to go? Whoever
yes,
first.
I do. That's a great timing. Hey, you guys, thank you for having me. Really great chatting with you all. I'm going to hop on when I get home, but thank you all for all that you guys do. You guys are amazing. Thank you.
Okay, Mike, last thing before you leave. Byron Buxton, over under 105 games played.
Oh, that's bullshit. There's no way he's playing 105 games. Not a chance in hell.
Not a chance in hell.
See you, boys.
We love you, Mike. See you, Mike. There he goes. Bye.
I got to
So
follow
long.
the lead and regurgitate everything Mike just said. I got to run and actually record. Robbie's calling me out. I will say this about Buxton, though. There is another center field somewhere for him to run into that wall. So it'll happen. I'm on the under. See ya.
There goes Ty. Make sure you check out the Dingers podcast if you've never listened to it before. It's a great Dynasty podcast. I'm in a Dynasty league with those guys, too. It's tough sledding. I just paid $49 million because it's got a $210 salary cap, $210 million for Seiya Suzuki. What do you think of that, Chris?
I think that's pretty good. I think that's decent. I would take that shot in that kind of salary cap league. You're not going to get a talent incoming that often. Like Suzuki, and he's major league ready, and I think he's going to be 20-10 with decent average. So I think that's a decent buy. Maybe there's more upside there.
All right, man, that's what I like to hear. That makes me feel good because I know you're big into Dynasty. For those that don't know, Baseball Pods, he loves his Dynasty. So
Victory lap certified.
All right, let's go back to JP. JP, I interrupted you earlier, so please tell us about your articles. Come on, man.
But these sound effects are killing me. These are awesome. Oh, man. So I just started to get, I got a chance to write, and they gave me a little corner of the internet to just kind of go crazy. So I start off every article with just going with whatever's on the top of my head. This week's probably going to be about toothpaste. But then I just kind of delve into whatever's kind of interesting me, right? So I always try my best, like we were just talking about a minute ago, if we pick somebody, I always try to pick somebody and just try to be contrarian just because that way I can look really smart if that person does awesome, which is all we all want. All these people in this room, we just want to pick that one contrarian play and be like, oh my God, I was so on that guy since like Little League, man. I had that guy. But other than that, I mean, I just try my best not to sound like a complete and total doofus.
You are way beyond a doofus. But speaking of doofuses, we got Zach Waxman here. Welcome, Mr. Doofus. How you doing? He's known for the finest audio in the business. No one does audio like Zach Waxman does audio.
Well, I'm doing audio right now.
That's right. It sounds good.
I'm actually just on my phone, and probably it's better than my podcast. But I'm actually in 2 drafts at once right now, so sorry if I'm ignoring you.
This is my boss.
Are you doing a main event right now, Zach?
What's that?
Are you doing a main 2 right now with Justin?
No, I'm doing a Draft Champions live, and I'm doing an OC live right now. They both started at 10 o'clock. So I'm doing that and talking to you guys.
I like the sweater that you're donning tonight,
Who's that?
Zach.
Who's that?
That's Rick
This is
Poundstone.
Rick Poundstone.
Oh, Richie.
Hi, buddy.
How you doing, Richie?
I am good. It's glad, I'm always happy to see you. And where did you get that sweater?
I don't even remember, man.
Express. Looks like an Express.
It looks like an Express. Yes.
It does.
Like a police
They don't have
sweater,
those
yeah.
here.
Oh, I'm in
Was it
DC
Canada,
Express
Zach?
right now, so maybe it's fitting. No, it's a little double entendre for you.
Ooh. Zach, by the way, just had a great episode with Lenny Melnick. I want to give you a shout out on that show. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Lenny's a great guy. Love Lenny.
Yeah. I've heard great things. He's like an old timer, been around the game a long time. Still haven't connected with him just yet. I'm sure I will eventually. But Zach does the Draft Champions podcast. For those of you that don't know, Zach is doing some of the most creative content, hands down, in this biz. I got this question here, though, because this guy's got a lot of run since the Meadows trade. But even before the Austin Meadows trade, Josh Lowe was the eye of many beholders. Let's go back to the top of the board with Graham. Graham, Josh Lowe, is he just a guy or not?
It's the Rays. I like if Josh Lowe was in a different organization, I'd be all about it. But I mean, he might be. No one. There's going to be 4th outfielder, right? Like that. They have a bunch of like 2s and 3s outfielders. So I think if you approach it from a more conservative standpoint of like you'll get like 450 at bats. I know he used to have like split issues. I don't know if that's still manifested himself. Like the triple slash last year at AAA was insane. But yeah, power speed. I don't know. It should play. I wouldn't blow my brains out in fab on it though.
That's a curious way to describe that. Okay.
That is so fetch.
Joe, Josh Lowe, are you in or out?
I'm going to go in between. I mean, speed, power's there. Great plate discipline, but swing and miss in the game. Don't know where the average is going to sit. So, he could hit 230, but the fact that he has power and he walks could keep him in the lineup. But again, as Graham stated, it's the Rays, so who knows what they're going to do. You don't know the playing time.
You do not. Sometimes there's just too many players and you don't know what to do with them. I get the feeling that sooner or later, eventually someone's got to go because the dance floor gets too crowded. Matthew Goodwin, are you down or not? What about you? Come on, Josh Lowe love. Are you feeling it?
I am. Well, here's the thing: the shiny new toy has always been my Achilles heel. So I like the opportunity. I think what we've been seeing a lot lately are these young guys coming up, and everybody's got these enormous expectations, and it's really hard to play baseball at the major league level. I know that's not all that insightful.
I've heard that,
but it's a very difficult thing to do. And so, when the Kalnicks come up and the Krylovs come up and they're not Juan Soto right away, people get frustrated by that. I'm not expecting. See, Zach is frustrated by that. I'm not expecting him to come up and be what he could grow into, but I'm excited to see what that looks like, and who knows what's going to happen, what could happen with him.
For those of you here, devastating news for Zach. Apparently, he just got sniped and he can't believe it.
Someone
Let's
just picked
Not
Cooper
only
Hummel.
like a sniper, he's like a guy that's falling way past.
All right. We got another person who wants to enter. Who's the next to go? Who wants to leave next?
I got to head out anyway.
Perfect, Matt. Thank you.
Got to get up early tomorrow. Thanks for sending me the link, and good talking with everybody.
Thank you for being here, Matthew. Take care of yourself. Godspeed. Speed round this. We got Russell here, by the way. Russell's the fucking man. We're going to give you your big personal intro momentarily. Speed round this. Art, in or out on Josh Lowe? Do you expect him to be an everyday player in fantasy for you?
No, I'm out.
Chris.
I'm in. I think the Rays are doing something here. They signed Margot. They've got Kiermaier as a backup defensive outfielder. They tried to trade him all offseason. Didn't work. So he's their 4. They're going to start Arozarena, Lowe, and Margot most days. I like all 3 of them, and I think Josh Lowe is going to – the thing that he'll give you is 20 stolen bases this year. I don't think he'll have elite power, but he'll contribute in some power, and I think he'll have a decent batting average. So if you need speed, go blow your load and fab.
Love it. Well said. Rick Palso, what about you? In or out?
Yeah, the comment from the gentleman asking the question, I don't know that he needed to call him a jagoff, but as far as the player in question, Mr. Lowe, goes, hey, he couldn't even beat out Kevin Kiermaier on the roster, so I'm not a fan.
By the way, he was actually referencing the show Jag, which you are a big fan of, Rick, remember?
I have seen that program with Maggie, yes. We watch that, every couple of nights after dinner time. Yes, we do.
Right. That's what they do. JP, Josh Lowe, is he going to be on your roster this year?
If I could get a hold of him, absolutely. The Rays, if they would have traded, Meadows, then I would have been like, no way. But they let him go for, God, not even, like almost as bad as an Oakland A's trade type of thing. I mean, Isaac, okay, great, and a draft pick, fine. But I see him playing. Now, the only concern I have is that they see a lefty-righty split and suddenly only play him against lefties or righties. But other than that, I'm all in.
Yeah. Zach, I know you love Josh Lowe.
Do I?
No, actually, I don't. I just made that up. I have no idea.
In or out, I'm out. I think it's the Rays. They got a lot of talented players that are in the minor leagues. It's just going to be bad news. Bad news for fantasy redraft this year.
And then that takes us over to Russell. Russell,
What's
you
up,
are
guys?
here. What's up? Yeah, that's just for you, my man. The Motley Crue shout, which Russell initiated. We were big Tears for Fears guys here, but I respect Russell, even though he loves Kiss. I don't understand why he loves Kiss, but he does.
I don't love Kiss. I was just coming up with shout drops for you guys.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't understand the original thought
Kiss
process.
is fine. Love
Kiss
Gun's
is
a good
fine.
song.
Love Gun. Okay, that's fair. We both love Role Models. That's a great movie that involves Kiss.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm
there's
with
a
you
great
there.
clip from there where they talk about Love Gun.
Hell yeah. And look who's here. We got another closer master, Greg Jewett, the reliever recon overlord himself. Welcome to the show, Greg. It's a pleasure to have you here. You're at 10 deep right now, live on the first annual Palazzo Podcast, BOZOFEST 2Ls Tuesdays.
Give me 2.
Greg, what's up?
Not much. How are you, my man?
Just trying to hold down this BOZOFEST. I mean, it's not
need to
easy.
ask Greg this. We need to ask Greg when if Taylor Rogers goes to San Diego, what's happening in San Diego, Minnesota? Come on. It's the only reason I came.
San Diego, we'd have to wait and see. But I mean, if they're going after Rodgers that hard, he's got to be getting leverage innings. So whether he's sharing it with Suarez or he's going there to be the primary guy. I mean, they were willing to have Pomeranz do that a while back, but he couldn't stay healthy. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. I don't know that'll get consummated. I think Minnesota will get cold feet. Do they really want Chris Paddock for Taylor Rogers? To me, that just doesn't make sense.
If he goes, is it Alcala, Duran, or who?
Now, in the preseason, I very much liked Alcala, but the Twins had a lot of games on the StatCast, and his velocity was down across the board. I mean, like 3 miles an hour, and he was getting hit pretty easily so far. I mean, not easily, but he was giving up a lot of loud contact this spring. So I think, Minnesota proved to you last year, they don't care about the upside guy. They just put Colomé back in there after Rodgers got hurt. I think they would start with Duffy, and I know people are in love with Yohan Duran, and I love that kid's stuff, but I think they see him like Garrett Whitlock, where he can do a couple innings here and maybe the highest leverage inning there and get maybe a 2-inning save here and there. But I don't think they would thrust him right into the 9th inning, especially as a rookie.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for asking that, Chris. That's exactly what I wanted to go to directly with Mr. Jewett, who is known for the reliever recon. It's a killer Patreon. You got to get in on it. It's as little as $3 a month. Is that right?
Till tonight.
Oh, we got an upgrade coming. Okay, I respect that.
It's just we put in a lot of work. So it was actually Katie. She was like, "You're doing all this work." She's like, "You got to start charging more." So
look at these stickers. Look at
the
these
girlfriend
stickers.
spoke up. So yeah.
I mean, these
so
stickers
we as a group decided that for once it hits opening day, we're just going to move to $5 a month. I mean, it's fair. I mean, I put out something like every freaking day. I don't know many websites that are putting out an article a day, not to mention sometimes 2 or 3.
Sounds like the girlfriends are capitalists, so we like that here.
Hey, Greg. So
capitalists, and they make us migrate too, right, Michael?
St. Louis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Sort of a default.
Put them up.
I'm sorry. Zach was trying to ask something. What's up, Zach? Even though you bust my chops about Patreon all the time on Twitter.
About who? Oh, that's not you. That's just
okay.
Well, you think that's about you? No, it's not.
No.
Gallegos. He's got to be the guy by default now. There's no one left. Like they're starting Hicks now, I guess, and then Reyes is hurt. Like, is it Helsley?
The Book of Genesis.
Good luck. Well, Genesis Cabrera did get the 2-inning like spring save the other day, so Cabrera will be involved. But yeah, I don't understand why they won't just let Gallegos do this. They just want him to be the HLR, which we call highest leverage reliever. So whenever they need him the most, they'll put him in. So Helsley could get some. I really didn't like when they came out with that closer by calculation statement. That was Derek Gould who penned that from the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. And again, Zach, you and I and everyone else knows we can't take everything that these beat writers say as gold.
No pun intended. Gould,
yeah.
Right?
Gould, yeah. So beauty, eh? But you would think at worst Gallegos is going to get 2/3 of those saves. You would think, and then they could totally pull the rug out from under us and just go full whoever they want at that moment. But I have a hard time. Yeah, I really want to see that happen for like the first month, and I'll have a better feel. It almost feels like one of those ones when they might pull the end around on us, but we'll see what happens.
I got to know something though. Of all the bullpen arms, which is the guys or the guy, more than one guy that you have to keep checking spell check every time you have to write them in an article? Because I mean, I look at some of these names and I'm like, wow, I didn't know there was that many like consonants and vowels, like fire scene, and I'm like
fire as in yeah. No, actually,
I'm like, bless you, man, for trying to figure out how to pronounce that, because I'm just like.
Actually, you need the pronunciation guide from Baseball Pods himself. That's what helped me last year. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Shout out to you.
Yeah, say Yohan Duran had a thing on Twitter, so he pronounced his name. So I picked that one up from him himself.
Nice.
But I have to remind the guys that a lot like Andres Munoz has the backwards on the E, and then the other I don't know what it's called, but the other over the end. So I have to go in there and fix those every so often. But it's not. From doing it so damn often, I just do it by default. It just becomes second nature. But especially because I feel like the charts haven't been too bad yet. But once everything starts happening tomorrow, there'll be some movement in all of those areas. It just, I will say though, when I did launch the Patreon, I was like, oh, what a move! I'm going to be the man. And then the lockout hit, and I'm like, what a jackass! But luckily. Luckily, things are settling in. So we passed 500 subs, which my goal at the beginning of the season was 250. So I was obviously setting the bar too low.
Congrats.
But yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's just been overwhelming. I just can't. It just validates because I wasn't happy at one place I was writing for, and I quit, and now I'm making double what I would have made for that site. So it just.
You call it up, and you're working for Michael. I get it, and you know he's awful to work with.
No, I worked for a company that was more worried about trying to be entertaining than putting out content.
Is that a slap in the face to this show directly?
Absolutely not. We like your content. You're
I
entertaining.
gotta go, guys. But if you want a reminder of why you love baseball, check out Julio Rodriguez's phone calls to his mom and dad when he got the call. It's all over Twitter timeline. You can look at my timeline or
I haven't seen that yet.
It's amazing. It'll remind you of why we love this game so much. So,
Chris, that's incredible.
Rick thinks
That's
all that
incredible.
stuff is staged.
Get out of here, Rick. Chris, thank you so much for being here. I love seeing you, man. I wish we had more time together. I do want to know, Rookie of the Year in the AL, is it Julio or Bobby Witt or Torque or someone else?
I got to go with my man Julio. I got him on all my fantasy and dynasty teams, and he's a joy to watch. And I think this is going to be a great year for rookies, and I think that's going to be fun. So I just love watching the guy play baseball. He plays it with this pure joy that just reminds you like when you were a kid. So I'll take him.
Victory lap certified.
Thanks, brother. Take care of yourself. There he goes, Baseball Pods. If you don't follow him on Twitter, then you clearly don't understand how fantasy baseball works because he supports so many damn shows. It's fantastic. All right, we're live here. We got a great crew rolling along here. Hour one of the Bozo Fest. Opening day fever. Man, who's stoked? Russell, how fired up are you for opening day tomorrow?
I'm pretty fucking stoked. I'm going to be sitting at work watching TV, watching baseball.
Where's the energy? Come on, man. Fuck!
My boss is actually on vacation, so I can just sit around and watch baseball all day. Nobody give me shit about anything.
Love it.
I get to get into the office tomorrow and spend the first 2 hours setting lineups for my 22 draft champions.
I love it, man. Russell's the best. Russell's always supported our show since the beginning, and he also has his own website, armchairroto.com. It's
Where's
fucking awesome. Is it not? Have you guys ever checked it out? Has anyone else ever been to Armchair?
I'm doing it now.
Because it's really good.
I've looked at his projections.
Ooh.
I have read some of Mr. Russ's material, and I very much enjoy it. I think he's a gentleman, and I might even say a scholar.
Thanks, Rick. Right here.
You're a sweet man. I want to do a quick rapid fire here on the National League. Real quickly. Will CJ Abrams be an impact player in 2022? Speed round. Let's start with Greg Jewett.
It sounds like he might be a platoon. Now, they did not send him down. Impact. I think he'll be okay. He had a nice at bat against Hendricks, but I want to see more of him. I don't know if the power's for real.
Russell.
What's up? I wasn't paying attention. What was the question?
Well, my name's Michael Govier, and this is the Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's, and we're talking about
Utah. Give me 2.
CJ Abrams. Will he be an impact player this season?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm not gonna pay the Fed price it's gonna take to find out. But yeah, why not?
Okay, Zach, are you in?
No, probably not. These rookies, everyone's wants these rookies. I don't know. I'd rather just at this point he's going to be too expensive.
What do you say to people that paid $88 in fab for him this past weekend?
Probably not much. I don't know. I think it's like at least you didn't spend $91 on Jordan Hicks like we did in the tag team league. That's what I'd say to them.
That was Mr. Carlin.
Well, it was both.
That was Mr. Carlin.
We both agreed on that.
Yeah, there was no indication that. I mean, they said that next year, everything said next year they were going to try and stretch him out and make him a starter. I mean, as you alluded to on Twitter today, he had 3 outings, 1 inning each. His last outing, he was supposed to go 2 innings, and he didn't have any command and couldn't even make it to 2 innings. I can't see this going more than a month. Either health or performance is going to put him back in the bullpen.
He's going to get hurt.
Yeah, sure. There's no way with his motion. There's no way he can last as a starter. I don't
even know how many innings they plan on letting him go as a quote unquote starter. Like maybe he's just
Jordan Hicks.
I mean,
maybe he's a loser. Maybe his life's terrible.
In his first start,
depressed.
what do we plan on? 2 innings?
Yeah, I guess. I don't see how he can go much further than that. So yeah, that's CJ.
So anybody who's picked up Jordan Hicks is making a mistake if they think he's going to be the closer, right?
Right now.
But even the rest of the year, I'm looking the whole season. Do you see a point here, Greg, where Jordan Hicks becomes the closer this year?
they said there won't be one, so I'm gonna have to take them at their word.
Okay, fair enough.
They've gone out of their way to say that they don't want one. I mean, the manager's saying it, the front office is saying it. They said it in the preseason before they made any additions. They made it very clear. The funniest thing will be is if like Nick Wickering gets the first save to just troll everybody from last year with the Cleveland mess.
Oh God.
I would love to see that. That would just be hilarious. Okay, so I want to jump in real quickly. Anthony Fedora says 2 big predictions. You guys can comment in the live chat if you so choose. And anybody who's not familiar with audio, if you can mute your speaker so we don't get feedback. It's just a general rule for everybody. If you have headphones, that helps too. 2 big predictions from Anthony Fedora. Byron Buxton will win AL MVP, and Robbie Ray will be a base on balls machine. Won't even be a top 50 pitcher in 2022. Art, agree or disagree on the Robbie Ray part?
I think I disagree with him. I think Robbie Ray has set a new floor for him. I don't think he's going to reach the ceiling that he reached last year, but I think his floor is going to keep him in the top 50 pitchers, definitely for the top for 2022. I think he'll probably still be back in the top 20 this year as well, especially with those K numbers he's going to put up.
Joe Gentile, Robbie Ray, is this prediction by Mr. Fedora accurate?
I'm going to say, I mean, Robbie Ray's an interesting one to me. His pitch characteristics, I think he gets a lot of help because he's a left-hander. If you look at his pitch movement, it's not really that impressive. So I've basically been staying away from Robbie Ray, not even just because of the risk of walks, because I just don't. It doesn't make sense to me, so I'm going to stay away. I know he's been a strikeout machine in years past, but I would stay away, me personally.
Shrimp Robbie Ray, a total bust this year?
No, total bust going way too far. I think like where he's going, especially in 15s, like I think I've got him in like 4th and like sometimes the 5th round. Like when he drops the 5th round, like that's a crazy deal. Even the 4th, like he's got to strike out like 200 guys, like easy. Like your ratios might give back a little bit from last year, but like for the other guys going there, like you got, like I'm not dragging the good name of Freddie Peralta through the mud, but he's going a lot higher in mains. But like, are you getting the same volume there in Peralta? I like Peralta, but like, yeah, Ray's a horse. He's going to throw a ton. I think he's fine.
By the way, Phil Dussault verified that he loves Freddie Peralta today on Twitter. So everybody who read that, who has Freddie Peralta, probably hug themselves or high five somebody because they have been validated by the king himself, Phil Dussault.
Victory lap certified.
Draft I'm doing right now, 4th round, 42nd overall. Oh.
I took him in the main event. I'm all about that. He's my number 1 SP. Rick Poundstone, are you in or out on this Robbie Ray talk about being a total bust this year?
No, as far as Robert Ray, I mean, he came out and had a Cy Young season last year. Now he goes to an even, what I hear is a better ballpark for a pitcher. So I'm going to say yes with that. And I also wouldn't mind hearing the other gentleman's thoughts on this. But as far as the other question about Byron Buxton, I don't want to hear his name again. I am so sick of hearing about this guy. He is being way overdrafted. No, he doesn't play 100 games. I saw some dum-dum took him in the beginning of the 2nd round the other day. Dude, I'm out on Buxton.
JP, are you in or out on this Robbie Ray bust?
Absolutely, I'm in on Robbie Ray. I mean, the fact that he finally got his walks to under 3. He never before was even under, I think, 3.5. Before this last year, he was around 2.5 this in the past year, and now he's going to Seattle, better stadium, and he also played in the minor league stadium last year that a lot of people forget in Toronto. That was just awful, right? The Buffalo minor league stadium is a home run park, so the fact that he gets now a much bigger park, the K's are there. I mean, he's 3rd round price. Heck yeah! I mean, I'm all about Robbie Ray. I got him almost on every one of my teams, and Byron Buxton. God, I want him to play, but there's no way. There's just no way. he's gonna hurt himself coming out of an Uber. He's gonna get a fork in an eye. Like he's gonna find a way to get a spork and like just something random's gonna happen to that poor guy, and I'm gonna feel terrible. But the guy's amazing. He's like the guy you play with on the video game. But you turn the injuries off, and then somehow he hits like 150 home runs and has 150 stolen bases. You're like, oh my God, that was amazing. But then you put the injuries on and like, oh, look, Wayne Gretzky's head's bleeding. Like, it just doesn't work. So I
got a question for Rick. Rick, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, bud.
Since when did we become better at predicting injuries than predicting stats?
When you say we,
well,
don't.
Well, you.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I mean, hey, I'm just. Is this about the Buxton?
Yeah, it's about your Buxton. Yeah.
I just don't see. Are you trying to tell me that you're an advocate for Brian? Do you think he's going to be good this year?
Yeah, I like Braun. I like Braun.
No way. All right, I got to jump in here. Time out. All right. Some of the newcomers here are coming in. I got to kick somebody out who first joined up. Who wants to lead next?
Go. Yeah, I'll take it.
Perfect.
I gotta wake up to go to work. So
everybody who wants to leave, get the fuck out. Go ahead. Just leave. We love you. Thank you for being on the first annual Palazzo Podcast, BOZOFEST. It's been a pleasure to have you here, but we still got this crew. Not everybody had to leave. Shit, that was a little too much. But we got a guy here that I want to welcome to the show. It's our great, distinct pleasure to have the one and only Nick Pollock. Woo! Welcome to the show, Nick. This is your, oddly enough, your Palazzo Podcast debut.
It is. It absolutely is. What is happening? What did I stumble into there? That was amazing. I have no idea. And this was, I'm just excited. Jasper Springer, how's it going? Going great. Just had my final draft, and it's like, I wish all my drafts could be done these days because I just feel so secure about everything. And we all did this. We all drafted like a month or two ago. We did like TGFBI and all these other leagues, and it's just so different now than it was then. So I'm ready. We got this. We got baseball tomorrow. Oh my God!
How can I get your camera? Like, I want your camera because, like, you look like you're in, like some MTV, like America Top 40, like some amazing studio, and like some.
I got
wow.
I got a DSLR though. I spent something. It's annoying.
Wow. Just gonna throw that out at us. Okay, got it.
I'm sorry you asked. I don't know.
Wow, you could have just been like humble about it, but no.
I know that
DSLR.
I feel guilty about it.
DSLR in your face.
It's one of those things like I look at it and I go like, I don't need this. I don't need this thing.
Just write notes.
But I'm gonna, you know what? I'll do this and I'll get a DSLR. And I don't vacation. I just live here all the time.
You have hair product, and that's great, and that's awesome. Man.
Oh God, no! You think this is hair product? This is like
no, it's jeans. I'm sorry. Cool. You get to rub in the jeans too. That's great, Nick.
Good hair. I think this is lazy. I don't know.
I have a hat on, and I look like
you look great. JP,
thanks.
You know, I'm just saying, you look great. I don't know why you're projecting all this stuff. You're in a great
I want to know why I'm getting voted.
Look at the art you have. Wow, Look at the art you have.
Thank you.
It's lovely art.
Yeah, it's actually just.
Thank you, Rick. It is a nice picture.
It's a fake backdrop. Thanks. I got it from my DSLR studio place. Work at. Thanks.
Thank you for joining the first annual Palazzo Podcast, BOZOFEST.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have Nick aboard. We got Greg Russell, JP, Rick Poundstone, and myself with Nick Pollock live here. Nick, we were just talking about Robbie Ray. You were kind of just in time, really. We'd love to get your take on Robbie Ray's status. You are a pitching guru. I think it's fair to say that. Even if you won't call yourself one, I will happily do that for you. But 50 as a top 50 or less starting pitcher, like no way he finishes the season outside of the top 50 starting pitching ranks.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, whatever JP said, I disagree with. I don't know what you said, but
of course. Well, that goes without saying.
The energy. No, of course. No, I agree with you a ton. I think Robbie Ray's going to be great. I have him, I think, at 10 right now among my starting pitchers. It's just what he did is believable for the entire year. It's not like an approach that happened for 2 months. It was an approach that happened for 6 months. Left on base rate, fine. 90%. Sure, that's going to get worse. I think there are going to be more ramifications of leaving Toronto and
the AL beast, that now he's in this wonderful situation in Seattle, a winning ball club, I should add too, that they're going to let him fly. That's really cool. The only concern I would have is that I think the last start I saw, he was a tick down velocity wise, and that was a big improvement last year, was the fact that he was throwing a tick harder. But hopefully that is just spring training nonsense and all is good. And oh my God, what seriously, what have I stumbled upon tonight?
I feel like we're watching a kidnapping video.
There's old timer. How's it going, Ron?
Hello, Rick. Don't let me interrupt you, Nick.
There's no way that's DSLR.
Hello?
Yeah.
Come on, Nick. Why don't you give a DSLR away on,
What does that mean? What's up, Grandpa Ron? How are you?
I'm nighttime here, but still watching birds. That means the night owls are out. Couple of night owls in the chat room. It's all
You got your binocs, huh?
Oh yes. You know it, Rick.
Okay.
Apparently, Grandpa Ron is a big deal. This is new to me. I've not met Grandpa Ron before. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Grandpa. Thanks for joining the first annual Bozo Fest.
Oh, thank you, Michael. You've actually you've talked to my grandson, Aaron.
Oh, okay, yeah. We had him on the First Day podcast last month. I know Aaron very well. He's a good guy.
Yeah,
very cool.
Yeah, he's my grandson. He's okay. So yeah. How are you guys doing tonight?
As an IT guy, Ron, I would tell you to move the lavalier mic up on your shirt, so we can hear you a little bit better.
You big IT guy, Rick? I didn't know that. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. That's my claim to fame, number one. But Ron, can you tell us a little bit about what you're expecting? Give us your biggest surprise.
The splendid splinter, Ted Williams. Oh, could he swing a bat? He was my favorite.
He could. Yes. They said he had perfect vision. They did.
What was the thing about his head?
His head. Oh, yeah.
That was
something real weird.
Something about freezing. Yeah.
Yes. Frozen, I believe, with those. It's right next to the bird's eye vegetables.
Yes.
Bird's eye veggies, huh? Yeah, those are delicious. Ron, it's great to have you on the show. Thanks for joining us. We were just talking about Robbie Ray. Nick, we actually had another commentary from Jeff about Art Warren. Will he be a factor? We're going to ask Greg, who's the reliever recon expert, but I'm curious what you think about Art Warren as well.
Whatever Greg says is correct. Here, Russell.
Oh, you're...
Okay.
Oh, he's leaving. Bye, Russell. We love you.
Whatever Greg says is going to be way smarter than what I think. So let's just listen to him.
I think everybody in the fantasy community wants to coronate Art Warren, and he was terrific in the end of last year, but it was a very small sample. We don't know if that will translate to a full season. And David Bell and God, the pitching coach's name is escaping my mind right now, that they don't care who gets the save. I mean, last year, Lucas Sims, after he came back from his injury, I think he had a ridiculous, 30-something plus K minus BB rate, and they were giving saves to Michael Gibbons, who I think had a 14 to 12 K to BB over the last 2 months. They don't care. They don't care who gets the saves. They don't care that somebody wants to coronate Art Warren, and I will not invest a dime in that bullpen this year, because if you look at all of the bids, look at the money that was spent in the main event last year on Reds relievers. It was just lighting money on fire, because everyone was chasing the saves from last week, and then this week it was another guy. They used Sims, I think, three times in 4 days. That's when he went on the IL the first time last year. That's when Heath Hembry took over, got 7 saves in July, and then he was DFA'd.
I remember that
2 weeks later. So I mean, to them, a save is fungible, and until that changes, I would love to see Art Warren get 15 saves, but thinking anybody in that bullpen is going to get to 20 saves this year. If one of them does it, that's fantastic, but it won't be on any team that I run. And I hate saying something like that, because there's some guys that are good. The one person I'm intrigued by right now is they're going to try and use Tony Santillan as the TJ Antone role. So that he might be somebody, if you're in a 15-team mixer, you might be able to get some vulture wins, get a couple of saves here and there, and get some decent ratios, because as a reliever, he did much better than as a starter.
Victory lap certified.
There it is. I'm going to lock that. Art Warren, I'm going to save that clip because I hope you're right about that. Even though I have a few Art Warren shares, I just love the conviction that you speak with. It's so authoritarian. I respect that. I really do, Greg.
Just look at their uses last year. I'll tweet it out after. I've shared it more than once how I think it was they had 4 different people lead for a month in saves last year. They don't care. They're just going to run somebody out there. Somebody was joking or saying today about Amir Garrett is listed on MLB.com as the closer. Who gives a rat's ass?
You don't
remember Amir Garrett was the closer last year for Cincinnati. How did that work out?
I feel like it wasn't great. That's just, I might have PTSD from that. I don't know, but it does feel like he wasn't that reliable. I mean, there's so many closers out there in so many situations where we just don't know what's going to happen, and you can't gobble up every single player, right? You can't have every one of these guys on your roster. It gets very confusing at a certain point. So, Greg, that's why reliever recon rules. JP, what about you? Are you excited about Art Warren this year?
I am only excited if Greg is. I only go on, like honestly, this is exciting. No, I am not excited with anything to do with the entire bullpen. That bullpen, set it on fire, run it outside. It's up there with non-DSLR cameras to me. It's just awful. Like you can't even use it. It's not even like you just don't even. You don't even talk about it, right? Like it's like your grandmother coming for Thanksgiving. You say, "Hey, Grandma, where's my DSLR?" And she's like, "What? I'm so sorry, I didn't bring it." Then leave her outside. Just typical.
Yeah, I feel like we're all losers if we don't have that deal. Sorry,
that should be my team name. Is like Grandma brought me a DSLR.
Yes! There you go.
I would like that. That is awesome.
That is so fetch.
Can I just? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Grandpa Ron.
Grandpa Ron, please.
I do have to run.
It's good that you run at your age.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's past your bedtime too, Ron.
Is there a tufted titmouse
plenty
outside?
of vegetables and keep up keep the vim and vigor going. I want to make a World Series prediction quickly. I think I like the Milwaukee Brewers over the Toronto Blue Jays.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's go. I like what I'm hearing.
Victory lap certified.
Great. Thanks for having me, and I hope you all have a great night.
Ron, thank you so much for joining the show. It's been a real pleasure having you here. Take care of yourself now. Get those veggies in and get your rest.
Tell the missus I say hi.
Oh, yes, please do. Give our best to your significant other. We are live here on the Plaza Podcast BOZOFEST. It's the first annual BOZOFEST. It's opening day eve.
Utah. Give me 2.
Oh, Ron, I don't think. There you go. Yeah, there you go, Ron. You figured it out. We are live here. We got Nick Pollock, Greg Jewett, JP. I just call him Dap Scott. I'll always call him Dap Scott. I don't care what his real name is. And, of course, the legendary Rick Poundstone, who's been in the business for decades. He's an IT expert. And if you have any questions about IT, please feel free to drop them in the live chat. I want to drop this one in. I'm excited, by the way. I'm so stoked for opening day. I know we had a couple postponements. I hope there's no more. As a Detroiter who lives here in Michigan, the weather for our opening day on Friday against the Pale Hose doesn't look great. I think it's like 40 degrees and rain. So we're hoping that game will be played. But, there's 162 games coming our way real soon, and I'm very excited about that. We had Bill Brasky ask about Mitch Keller or Jesus Luzardo. I'm going to go back to you, Nick. You are, the pitching guru. Doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. I still trust your pitching opinion.
Good. That's how it should be. Does not matter. No, I'm a Jesus Luzardo guy. He's throwing harder, and he's throwing just as hard as Mitch Keller with a better secondary pitch in his curveball. Through 48%.
Is this not even close, is it?
Away. Yeah. I mean, Mitch Keller to me isn't good enough yet. I know there's talk today or in the Mining the News about his sweeper slider, but the results have been bad across both breaking balls so far. I'm not encouraged at all, and I think the fastball is still too hittable. Luzardo's fastball is still hittable too, but the curveball is just way better. So, Luzardo.
That makes me feel better because he's probably my most rostered player, hands down, of any player. If
Really?
I check my player shares, oh yeah, big time. I've been pushing on him way back since November. It just felt like the trade. I also put a lot of stock in the fact that Miami was a place for him where he could thrive, and then he just started to look better too as we got closer to opening day. So that's good news. What about you, Dap Scout? Luzardo or Keller? Is this even a debate for you?
It's not even close. Luzardo all day long. It hurt me as an A's fan when he left. Yeah, it's a good time to be an A's fan. It's always a good time to be an A's fan. But yeah, I mean, Keller, no, it's never a good time to be an A's fan.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyways, that's why I go to Detroit all the time and hang out at Ypsilanti and go to the bars up there. But anyway.
Hey, look at you! Insider knowledge, my man.
But Keller, I think, people are just going to lay off this, the sweeper and all that stuff. He doesn't locate it. So they're just going to wait for the fastball and just destroy it. Just like my hopes and dreams of being an A's fan. But yeah, Luzardo.
Okay. Gregory?
Yeah, sweep it. I tried the Keller experiment like the last 2 years, and all it does is kill your ratios. So I'd rather go with the guy throwing with better secondary pitches, as Nick was talking about, and a good ballpark. I know Pittsburgh is not a bad pitcher's park either, but Nick, how do you feel about all of this with a humidor everywhere? Are we going to see any like major changes in pitching or hitting, or are we just overthinking all of this?
I mean, generally when I do any assessments on pitchers, I try and use variables that I understand. And I don't really know how this is going to affect things. So I just kind of shrug my shoulders and move on. I mean, in a tiebreaker, I'll maybe say, like, oh, okay, this place that we generally know suppresses home runs. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more even or so. But for the most part, I'm not going to like shoot somebody up the draft board because they're not pitching in that park. Not to mention they won't always pitch in that park too. Mm-hmm. It's just a lot of like, I don't know, and we'll see how it flies.
So you haven't come up with a good like ratio metric to include humidity added to a baseball? I mean, that's kind of your entire job. Isn't it?
I know.
So,
I'm messing up, JP.
I'm just saying, think of Texas Rangers. Like, okay, it's a very humid ballpark. They're adding more humidity. Well, obviously, that's going to mean like everybody gets a no hitter.
Well, that'd be nice though. That would make me look really good, because then I'd say this guy looks really good, and then he threw no hitter. Nick knows exactly what he's talking about.
Right, and look at the weather patterns. I mean, added humidity.
I don't think Greg's Midwestern, by the way. Right?
With your green screen behind you, can you become a weatherman now for us?
Let me just ask the guy.
Yeah, that's what we have here is a.
I would say that Mr. Gopher is. He looks like a very good-looking weather, woman. I mean, I don't mean it like that. I just mean,
No,
I would be thrilled to be a weather woman. That would make my day. I really would.
Yeah.
But we got some weather over here, and Palazzo Podcast is coming in with a strong front soon. It's going to be trouble here probably tomorrow. I would expect rain and lots of fantasy advice going forward from the Palazzo Podcast. It's going to be wonderful. You guys are going to love it.
Please cover your
yeah, we could do a weather report. I don't have the camera Nick has, but I mean,
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude, JP. I'm so sorry.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. That's better.
Is that all right? Do I look okay?
Greg,
how's my hair, JP? Is it all right?
Is there product in that hair?
I want to know, when are you when is that album dropping that you're obviously recording right now? That looks like you're watching the live stream of some amazing band recording their album. That's what
that sounds great. All you're saying is that I have good production. I'm a fan of this.
I love it.
You do?
Yeah. Be sitting in front of my drinks.
So can I ask you just a really important question? Of all the stealth picks you have to this guy's stealth. You have all these still amazing in your spreadsheets. Who's your favorite? Because I keep waiting for somebody to get colored in with your orange and green and purple font, and
we have to have
clip art.
games.
But tell me deep down, who's your baby? Who's the guy that you like? Regardless of whether or not he actually makes it, the person that you're like, oh my god, please.
Well, my recently adopted one is Juan Duran. I love that splinker and everything he's doing so far. You just don't know if that's going to carry over. I fell in love with JB Bukowskis last year. We all know how that ended. So you got to be willing to be wrong when you're doing all this stuff. But again, I think I want people to temper expectations. I think he would be akin to a Whitlock role. I don't think he's going to come in and be a lockdown closer. But again, no, he could be. I just don't. Come on, you really think the Twins are just going to hand over the ninth inning to him just because it looks great? That's just not their. That's just not their mo. So
No.
again, by June, maybe. I mean, if they're willing to trade Taylor Rogers, I don't know what message that sends, because they just went through, spent the money on Correa and all these other people's. That's why that trade makes, from an optics standpoint, it makes zero sense to me. I just don't know what's going to happen. So I failed. I would love to see him eventually get in there. He's not in the stealth row, but I'm a very big Loizaga guy as well. I listen, both New York relievers are in walk years. So if the Mets and the Yankees are not competing, those guys are going to get traded. And, you know, I kind of joked about it last night on our prediction show, but I said, wouldn't it be funny, because the Mariners really need a lockdown lefty, if at some point the Yankees decide to sell and they send Chapman out to Seattle? I mean, think of that bullpen with Chapman in there. That would just be bananas. But
this guy's a first ball fastball hitter. He's looking for heat.
Oh, yeah? So what? He ain't seen my heat.
That's where all this Chapman live right now. You ain't seen his heat.
Yeah, and there was a great question. I'm going to put this out to the crowd. Somebody said, Javi Baez versus Amir Garrett. Who do you got? I'm going Garrett because I think he's straight crazy. I think Baez is too much of a pretty boy. I think Garrett would kill him.
Wow.
There it is. There's
Okay.
the question, yeah.
That was aggressive.
Hell yeah. Wow. By the way,
If
really
Baez
excited
wanted
that
to
Javi
fight him,
Baez
he
is in
would've
Detroit now.
last year. He ran away behind his guys. Come on. Garrett,
Yeah.
Garrett ran into a dugout after a team.
That was amazing.
That's the guy I want behind me in a bar fight. I'm taking Garrett.
But by the way, JP, you did mention the humidor. I mean, all baseball parks are going to have a humidor now, right? All these parks are humidified. So
with cigars.
I mean, there's really no advantage or disadvantage anymore for anybody, right?
You would think, but you know, it's baseball, and that's the best part about it. Because you know, just because they have humidors, and then they also have to have. I mean, as Pitcher List had this amazing, like deep, like weather pattern, like article I think last week to their on their paid only site, where they talked about this in great detail about adding humidity, you know, from the atmosphere along with the humidor, and how it all intertwines to just some amazing pitcher analytics. So you have to ask him when he comes back on with his DSLR.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Baseball Bites wants to ask Pitcher List a question, by the way, which you are welcome to do. Looks like Rick Poundstone, actually. But first, let's say hello to Brock, this monster. What is up, dude? The West Side is representing, as I hoped they would. I wanted to do a little bit of a later start so we get more of our West Coasters in. So thanks for being here, Brock.
Mr.
Yeah,
Monster.
man. Happy to be here. I'm actually finishing up a home league draft right now. It's in like the last round.
Ooh, tell us who your closers are real quick.
Kittredge and Presley. It's a weird points league though too, so we don't really need save. But I have a lot of Kittredge. So this one is actually save plus holds. So Kittredge is really valuable in this one, I think.
Is that true, by the way? Does Javi Baez have an MLB tattoo on his neck? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
before he even made it to the major leagues.
Wow.
Oh, talk about confidence.
Double down.
Yes, Rick, you love your neck tattoos. I know you do. In fact, me and you are supposed to get the neck tattoos together this summer, matching ones. Mine says, what does it say again, Rick? I can't remember.
I think you're going to put pound.
2 L's, 2 P's?
Yeah.
2
2 L's, 2 P's for
Yeah. I'm just getting my wife's name across my back, but
Oh, okay. Well, that's obvious. Yes, you are a tattoo lover. Rick, did you have a question for Pitcher List you wanted to ask?
I wanted to ask Mr. Pitcher List himself, Nick. I am heavily invested in Mr. Wheeler of the Zach variety on the Philadelphia Phils. And he had a shoulder thing.
He's gone.
Oh, shit. Well, I'm just gonna
and
drop.
he's back. Wait,
He's back.
Should I drop Zach Wheeler then? I don't
No.
think.
I think he just told you that he won't even listen to your question about.
I would absolutely listen to your question. I just thought, I shouldn't have my DSLR taking over all the important information we're having right now. I feel like that's not the thing that I should be doing. Right.
Well, the camera, yeah, I am envious of the camera. As you can see, I'm just a kind of a talking head. But in terms of Zach Wheeler,
Whatever, motherfucker!
Whoa.
That was a lot.
Nick.
That guy's pissed.
That was a lie. I don't know if I can stay here. If that's the language that I'm going to hear.
I told you Nick would get upset about that.
Wow.
Yeah,
Way to
that's
go,
true.
Mr.
I do.
Gopher.
Yeah, Gopher's screwing it up again. What can I tell you?
Can I ask my question?
Yes.
Yeah, sure, Rick.
Jeez.
Hey,
okay.
There we go.
We got a weather report. All right, look at that.
So you can kind of see the humidor is going to affect this part
It's gonna be a problem.
of the states right
Yeah,
there, with a big pattern coming across towards Cincinnati and Nashville.
It makes it look like the whole Eastern Coast is going to be doused in precipitation. That's not good.
It's why they're not moving a team to Nashville, I think, because you can see right here, this is the blue. Right here is where it's going to affect. You know, they're like, nah, not good for that humidor. But what it is,
standing
Zach Wheeler, and I think Zach Wheeler is going to just be Zach Wheeler himself, maybe after a week of the season. He's behind slightly, but it's not actually detrimental to him. Sure, he'll go about 70 pitches or 60 pitches in that first start, but that's fine. We're okay with that. You know, a lot of guys, even all the Dodgers are going 75 pitches to start the season. I think you're going to see going down. Quality of inning is going to be down in April. So Wheeler doing
dude.
not as impactful as you think. So yeah, be happy with Zach Wheeler.
Awesome.
By the way,
I feel good.
Yeah, Rick, I hope that helps you, Rick. That's an excellent answer from the master himself, Pitcher List. That's Nick Pollock. We got Greg Jewett, Nick Pollock, Brockness, Monster, JP the Dap Scout, and of course Rick Poundstone, live on the Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
We're doing the live first annual Bozo Fest. Hope to make this an annual thing. It's opening day eve. We're actually about a half hour or so away from it technically being opening day, which is an absolute thrill for all of us. I wanted to address this comment here, which, you know, I like Jeff, but I disagree that you think Javi Baez is senior douchebag. I completely disagree. I know that he bummed out some of the New York Mets fans last year with that exchange that happened where the crowd was booing and they were thumbs downing the crowd, but I was not a fan of Javi Baez. But now that he's here in Detroit, I've really warmed up to him, and I'm actually really excited to see what he can do for this lineup and for the city itself, like bring that energy that he brings to a game. And this is from a guy who was not the biggest Javi Baez fan before the Tigers signed him.
Go Tigers.
So that's my 2 cents on that.
It sounds like you're a homer to me, but
It does. Textbook, yes.
I wanted to just say, gentlemen, I need to go. I have
Rick.
Yes, I've got a West Virginia hump day waiting for me. My wife's back here, and we're going to have ourselves a White Castle evening. And I just want to say it was nice meeting all of you. Oh, my goodness. Is that Mr. Valencia?
Valencia.
Yes, it is.
Oh, Rich, how are you?
Hey, bud. Geez, I was just about to get out of here, but geez, now you're here. Oh, man. This is great. This is just great.
Well, Rick, we loved having you. But that is Mr. Venancio. Ryan Venancio is here live with us. He's on the road touring, and he made the effort to show up to BOZOFEST 2022 on the Palazzo Podcast. Ryan, where are you right now? You said you were outside Nashville before, which, by the way, we had a weather report from Nick on. We just got the update. It might be a little wet there.
Yeah, we've experienced lots of rain. I can tell you.
Accurate meteorology.
Wow.
Yeah, live in Nashville. It's been raining for the last 2 days, and we just played our gig like an hour ago. And now I'm eating a burrito in the van.
Dude, living the life. I am a big fan of that. Tell them about the band. People don't know about the band with Sales Ahead.
Yeah, we're called With Sales Ahead. We're a 5-piece band, female vocalist, progressive rock, I guess you can call it.
It's got an edge.
Yeah.
I like it. It's good stuff.
Hardcore, prog.
Yeah. Look at Brock dropping the post-hardcore lingo. Wow.
I listened to the new song last weekend several times. They got a new song out. You guys should check it out.
Yeah. Called Acid Redux.
Wow.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, dude. How many cities, how many dates do you got on this little tour you got going on?
We're actually driving to Tulsa tomorrow, which is going to be not fun. Yeah, give me a weather update on Tulsa.
You know, expect scattered showers on April 7th in this area. And I think if you go towards Tulsa, you know, you might be chasing the clouds. Might be a really nice little view for you. You know, just in the distance, you see that little rainbow coming trickling. It's a beautiful sight. You might be able to get that in Tulsa.
I
really need it.
All right, we got to get Nick a Bob Ross wig. And get
Yeah,
that whole thing
exactly.
redone right there.
I'm just painting corners though. That's all I
Beyond
do.
Beyond that rainbow, happy little tree right here.
Of course, a happy little called strike. You know.
Oh.
Actually, I think you should
Call
shave
free
your
real
head like Al Roker. That's what you should do.
Oh,
Shave
I
that
did
head.
that. I did that 2 years ago, and that's the last time I'll ever do that.
I just want to see it one more time. I guess we have pictures to remember you by.
Yeah,
so
thankfully.
we're supposed to talk about baseball. It's opening day. Ryan, what are you most excited about for opening day? What is getting your blood boiling?
Bobby Witt. I'm a Royals fan. I got to watch Bobby Witt for 6 months. I can't wait.
How grateful are you that they actually put him on the roster opening day, no shenanigans with playing time or any of that jazz?
It's awesome. Can't ask for any more. I mean, it'd be nice if Carlos Santana wasn't our first baseman, but other than that, I couldn't ask for any more.
No way. You can't have it all. I mean, of course.
Yeah.
Carlos Santana may be a deep sleeper OBP guy. If he can be a part of this lineup and still, 25 plus home runs, is that still possible, Ryan, or no?
I hope he doesn't play enough to get 25 homers, but I guess it's possible.
Fair point. That's a very fair point.
I want to see MJ Melendez and Nick Prado. I don't want to see Carlos Santana.
MJ Melendez all day.
Yeah. The Royals have some of the most exciting young talent in the game. There's no doubt about it. JP, what are you most excited about for opening day tomorrow?
Oh, so much goodness. I want to see I want Clays to come out and just throw some heat. I can't wait to see like a ninth inning. I'm a big just throw the best pitch you got, see if the batter can hit it. And so just watching the closers come in would just be amazing. And I just want to see Luis Robert come out and just play 150 games or so. And because the guy's amazing. He's like Byron Buxton, if Byron Buxton could actually play 150 games. So I want to watch the White Sox, and I just want to watch them be amazing, and then watch the A's sell the rest of their team off.
Greg, what about you? Opening day 2022. What's got your blood pumping? What are you so excited about? It doesn't have to necessarily be tomorrow, but just the season in general.
I'm just happy that there's actual things to react to. I mean, all of a sudden, the last month, everybody's a closer expert, so it's great. I don't think I'm an expert. I just spend an inordinate amount of time on it, but I bristle when I see everyone's hot take on a closer every so often. I'm just like, I don't even respond anymore. It's not worth it. Just stay in your lane. I'm just staying in my lane. I'm not going to jump in any more of these conversations.
Yeah, is that true?
Yeah, it gets. Yeah, I went down a couple of the rabbit holes. I'm not doing it anymore. It's not worth my time.
Oh. Okay, yeah, you're right.
It isn't. No, you just know life's. Yeah. Again, my poor girlfriend. I told her I was like, yeah, I'll be up there in a couple minutes. I'm working on 2 hours of sleep, but it is what it is. It's better than riding to Tulsa.
Yeah, you do not want to drive 10 hours to Tulsa tomorrow. I promise you that.
I'll be teaching.
Tulsa drillers?
I got 8th grade students tomorrow. They'll be going off the walls because break's a day away.
Oh yeah. Wow. Nothing like the day before break starts as a teacher. Nobody cares about anything. You got to put a movie on and just get to break because it's in less than 24 hours. That's usually what my experience was.
You can't put a movie on in phys ed, Mike.
Really? Come on.
It's really
Moneyball.
I mean, that's
Moneyball?
really not trying at all.
Well, if they're off the walls, though, isn't that good?
It's good. It's just going to be high energy. Again, I'm running on 2 hours of sleep as we speak. So tomorrow's going to be, it's going to be.
You said 8th graders. The key term in there is 8th graders, Nick. That is just a whole other ball game as opposed to jumping off the walls.
And raging hormones and all that.
They're in that in-between period.
Yeah,
they're confused,
Yeah, I coach those guys 8th and 9th. I know it now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, wow. I don't need to tell you then. You know how that works.
So but they're by themselves.
Sorry, Greg, you got this. I believe in you.
I'll be fine, but the boys for you are by themselves. I got them in class with girls in there, so they got to show off for the girls, and then the girls have to be there and talk about what boy is scoring goals in handball, and it's all you got all of the social structure going on. It's just oh my god. I'm just trying to make sure no one dies.
Do they talk at all about which boys know the best weather patterns at all, or who could okay.
They do talk about hair product. I don't know about the weather.
Well, there you go. I mean, just.
Well, Jason Eldridge in the chat says, "Is Scattered Showers your porn star name?" That's a winning comment from the live chat. Thank you, Jason. We love you.
What have I showed up for, Govier?
I didn't. Hey, man, this is from the sick minds of these viewers. I don't do that stuff. I don't know what they're up to. I'm just a regular Joe hosting a Bozo Fest. That's all I know. Brock the Sponsor, what are you jazzed for tomorrow? Opening day. What's it going to be that got you excited?
There's so much. There really is. Matt Olson and Carlos Correa make their debuts in their new uniforms. You got Stephen Kwan, Jeremy Pena, and Julio Rodriguez makes his major league debut. A couple of those guys, Cooper Hummel. I'm sure there's a couple prospects that I'm missing. They're making their debut. There's a lot to be excited for.
Yes. We had Baseball Pods on earlier, and he talked about it's his rookie of the year in the American League, Julio Rodriguez, and he said that baseball is at its best if you watch the videos of Julio Rodriguez calling his mom and telling her that he made the Seattle Mariners opening day roster. I got to check that out. I haven't seen that yet, but he said it's what baseball's all about. Very good stuff.
Yeah, we trash the MLB an awful lot, and obviously rightfully so. But one way or another, them and the MLBPA, they found a way to incentivize calling up these prospects, and I don't think we've ever had so many top prospects making their major league debut on opening day as we will be tomorrow and on Friday. I'm super pumped on that. That's so cool.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a new day. It's refreshing. It's very exciting to see so many young guns getting the chance to bust out from day one. We almost had a twofer here, of course. Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Give me two.
Give me two.
But Mr. Riley Green got hurt, but he would have been him and Torkelson here live in Detroit on opening day. But we'll just have to wait. And it ended up in a way kind of being a strange blessing because Austin Meadows came to town. I don't think they make that deal if Riley Green's healthy. Anybody disagree with that?
No,
not at all. Totally agree.
So, hey, you never know. Nick, opening day.
Hi. What's going on?
Hey, Mr. Weatherman, scattered showers. What are you looking forward to? It's opening day. You know, you love baseball as much as anybody.
There's so much. There are so many amazing matchups like Burns against, Kyle Hendricks, or you have Shane Bieber against the older Zach Greinke. But the one I'm most excited for, guys, it's Patrick Corbin against Tyler Mcgill. And Tyler Mcgill might be throwing harder, and this actually might be like Tyler Mcgill being really good. And we don't really know yet because like the spring, we haven't really seen much of it. We didn't really get velocity readings, but the word on the street is that he's throwing out 2 ticks harder. Like he could just dominate tomorrow. Then everybody is buzzing about Tyler Mcgill on Friday. Meanwhile, Patrick Corbin, I don't know. I got a soft spot for him. I feel like he's going to bounce back, and this could be one of the best pitching matchups yet tomorrow. So I can't.
Victory lap certified.
So Patrick Corbin, all-star this year?
Yes. Who else are the Nationals going to put up there? Juan Soto? I don't.
No, of course not. I got to tell you, Bubba would agree with that. Shout out to KC Bubba. He would completely support what you're saying. He's on the Patrick Corbin bandwagon for 2022. So, I would like to see him bring that slider back and dominate once more, but I don't know. It seems like it's a long shot.
Oh, yeah. It certainly is, but I feel like it's still there. Yet increased velocity the second half of last year. Just going to throw it.
Jaybird. Shout out to Jaybird here in the live chat. He says, Wainwright pitches a gem. That would blow my mind. That would really impress me. However, it is April. It's early.
Pirates. It's the Pirates. Of course, Wainwright has the best defense in the majors.
Kind of like some of those Pirate players. I think there's some sneaky offensive value in Pittsburgh. Call me crazy.
Who?
Pittsburgh. Yeah, there's some fun players on there.
Come on, Ben Gamble. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm telling you right now, Ryan, you just called your shot. Tomorrow, Ben Gamble homers off of Adam Wainwright. Lock it in.
No, I'm not locking that in.
Oh, okay. Well, I tried to get some Pittsburgh excitement, but it didn't seem like it took. That's okay. Yeah, JT Brubaker. There we go. That's right, Cubby Noel.
Yeah.
I like Brubaker. There was periods of time last year where he was really good, and I saw more potential from him, but I'm a little suspect. He got hurt too, and it seems like there was some blow-up starts too that can really hurt his overall long-term season value. But there's definitely streamer appeal with Mr. Brubaker.
Oh, yeah, sure. If he doesn't allow home runs, he's really good. Just the sinker gets hit way too hard. The slider is amazing at times, but you can't trust it.
No.
Is that a typical thing for most pitchers if they don't allow home runs? They're really good.
It is, but he actually like did that a lot. It was
Okay.
it was
I
really,
just-
it was really bad.
I'm taking notes. I just wanted to understand. Okay, that's really good insight. Thank you. So
he's actually
don't give up home runs. Good thing for pitcher. Got it. Thank you so much.
Can you tell Brubaker that? Because he does it all the time, and it would
Well,
not.
maybe he's
be
a
good.
giver. And you're just
Wow.
not giving me any DSLRs.
I'm sorry, I'm not your grandma.
Oh, Grandpa Ron, we miss you right now. Adji said, am I reading this wrong? He says, I ended up with Brad Keller in a draft. Thoughts on the 25-year-old Braves farmhand who hit 163, 236, 325 in A-ball? I'm familiar with the pitcher, Brad Keller, but I don't know Bradley Keller, the hitter.
No idea who that is.
No. Did he make him up?
There's a Brad Keller, and Ryan knows Brad Keller. By the way, since you are a Royals fan, Ryan, Bradley Keller, has he got some sneaky value this year? His ADP's, falling off the charts this year, but when healthy at times, he had a solid K per 9 and could really fool a lot of hitters.
I'm not a fan, just because I want to see Jackson Coar and Carlos Hernandez, and I don't know. I mean, Keller could be like a decent 5 starter, but I'm not really expecting much from him.
That's
I don't
not the
think what
main
he did
reason
in the
you're
past
excited?
is repeatable.
I'm so excited for opening day because of Brad Keller. Yeah.
Is Brad Keller still playing the hitter, not the pitcher? Because I don't see any stats for him.
I don't know the hitter. I just know the pitcher. Seriously, he's 6'5", 255 pounds according to Fangraphs. That's what I know about Brad Keller, the pitcher. So.
Yeah, the hitter 6'1", played left field.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Sorry, the AGI. So. Are you leaving, Nick? Is it time to go?
I gotta go, guys.
Nick, over under
welcoming me.
Byron Buxton, 105 games, over under. You taking the over or the under?
Under. I want to be wrong, but it's under.
Okay.
We all know it's
World
under.
Series pick? World Series?
White Sox.
Oh, okay, let's go. All right. Hey, Nick, thanks for joining us on the first annual BOZOFEST. This is your Palazzo Podcast debut. We'll have you on again soon, hopefully. It's always great seeing you, my friend. Thanks for being here.
Likewise, and let's do this for decades and decades, right, Govier?
As long as our blood is still pumping, let's keep it rolling, my friend.
All right, have a good night, guys.
Night, Nick.
See you, Nick.
Yeah, I'm gonna, Mike, I gotta go too. I gotta get a little, I obviously need beauty sleep. So
yes, you do. I mean, you look sexy to me, but all right, so World Series, who you got?
I think the Blue Jays will trade for a starting pitcher mid-season. I'm going with them.
Okay, my
they're
man.
pushing it in. And I think I think the Yankees will end up trading Chapman, and I think their season's gonna fall apart. I just don't see them getting into the playoffs in that division this year the way it's constructed. Cashman's done nothing. Wow.
Okay.
Except bringing they're like a softball team. They're either going to win like 11-7 or they're going to get shut out. I don't know. We'll see. But I hope I'm wrong. Nice to actually see you in person, Ryan. You too, Brock. Nice to see you, Dap Scott.
Oh, you got your sticker. We both got our reliever recon stickers here. Let's go. All right. Thanks, Dap. But yes, thanks to Greg Jewett. Make sure you guys subscribe to Reliever Recon. Greg, it's been a pleasure. We really thank you for your time. Good to see you, man. I haven't seen you since first pitch, so I'll be in touch as always.
That's right. All right. Be good, guys.
See you, Greg.
Yeah. Reliever Recon, man. I am a sub. It is
me too.
Well worth the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all are. I think, there's a lot of coverage at websites of bullpens and closers, but Greg kind of took it to a new level here with exclusive direct emails with spreadsheets. That's what people want. And I didn't actually see the hole in the market, but he filled it. He filled it really well.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Mike Curlin.
Yeah, I just signed up a.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. My shit's like lagging, so I couldn't.
No, it's totally fine. I was just saying that the hole in the market. I was like, Mike Curlin started doing these lineup, spring training things, and I didn't even think about that at all as kind of just and he just started breaking it down with such obsession that it just that's another thing I subbed as well. I was like that, and the recon. I can't even tell you how much money I spend on sub Patreon. It's ugly.
That's worth it, though. We get to go direct to people. We have a Patreon at Palazzo Podcast. If you guys like the show and you like what you see, we got a Discord that's connected to that, and there's bonus content and all that jazz. So if you like what we do here, there are Patreon links at our Twitter feed, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's. Just go there, and that's where you get everything you need to know. And Jason Eldred is commenting that AGI, Aggie, who mentioned the Bradley Keller comment earlier, might be Rick's burner account. That sounds plausible. I would agree with that. We also have Jamie says SP, Burns, Bassett, Sandoval, Caprellian, Bundy, Corbin, and his relievers are Barlow, Trevino, Wick. What do you guys think of my pitching? It's a 20-man league. A 20-man league, really?
Wow.
Boy, that's... Brock, what do you think of this instant analysis here? For a 20-man league, that's it's a pretty decent pitching staff.
Yeah, I mean, having Corbin at the back end is like, you could do a lot worse if he rebounds. Like Burns, obviously, Bassett, that's a big, it's like ADP, like 6 all the way down to like 140. It's kind of a big drop from like 1 to 2. But then it's kind of solid, I mean, just having all those guys that are going to be out there every 5 days is kind of a big bump there. Let's see, Barlow, Trevino, and Wick.
What about Bundy? Bundy in Minnesota. Is anybody somewhat excited about Dylan Bundy at a new field, a new place?
I think he is absolutely cooked.
Yeah.
I want nothing to do with Bundy.
I didn't draft him anywhere. Yeah.
I drafted him in my AL only. Definitely have my fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I think he's a before All-Star break type of guy. Like, our man, Dick Mountain. If you get him in the first, like, 3 months, he's great. And then his arm falls off.
Yeah, Bundy, I think you're holding on to that prospect hype that is 10 years old now. I don't know what we've seen recently. Although, I don't know, I saw some inside the numbers. I know his ERA was bloated, but his whip wasn't that bad last year. And if he's healthy, which I still don't know that to be the case, I do like target field for him. I like the AL Central, even though they've been a lot of improvements for several teams in that division. I still think it's a decent spot to pitch. So if he has anything, this is a good spot for him to be in terms of getting wins, the field, and the team he's on.
Yeah, it's a lot of home runs. I think I like Griffin Jacks better.
Ooh.
Griffin Jackson take that spot.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. I got Griffin Jackson on a couple dynasty teams. I'm hoping to see. He had that 10K outing last year. That's the first time I knew about him. And I was like, ooh, Griffin Jacks, who's this? And that's what piqued my interest.
He's got such a great baseball name. I mean, Griffin Jacks. I mean,
it's killer.
It's an awesome name.
Yeah. With an X, too. The X makes it even sweeter.
Exactly.
Reminds me of that character Jax from Mortal Kombat back in the day. Yes. He was like a guy with steel fists who used to be a boxer or something. His name was spelled the same way, Jax. Jax.
Wasn't there like a Jackson Clink?
Flawless victory.
Nice.
Cubby Noah wants to. He's saying that hoping Carlos Hernandez's RP-SP split doesn't fuck him too much.
Look, Carlos Hernandez is somebody I drafted. I had the just absolute love for the guy, and the guy just he's not missing bats. I mean, that's the thing. Like, he could throw just straight heat. But he's not missing bats. Everybody's just smoking his ball right now. And so until he either changes an arm angle or does a release point or something else happens, I'm not touching Carlos. I was so excited about him before spring training, and then I just saw. I mean, the velocity's there, but everybody sees where his ball's coming, and everybody's just killing it.
Yeah, he's definitely a guy that needs to develop more. But that's why I want to see him pitch this year. I don't know if I love him in fantasy necessarily, but I think he's a guy that might maybe figure stuff out and then might have a much better second half than first half. But I agree with you. Like, even watching him at the end of last year, he couldn't really find the strike zone, and his fastball was a little too hittable. But he's got nasty stuff. It's just a matter of putting it together.
But don't you think it's the fact that he's getting smoked in the first and second inning? He's not even getting killed in the second time through the lineup. He's getting killed in the first time through the lineup. He's not even fooling anybody the first time. Does that worry you a little bit, even if they do move into a relief pitcher? I mean, with that velocity, you're like, oh man, he could just close out an inning. But doesn't that worry you a little bit that he's not fooling anybody?
Not really, because it could be a multitude of things. It could be maybe he's tipping his pitches. Maybe he needs to lead breaking ball instead of lead fastball. I need to see more until I really.
Isn't his fastball super flat?
Yeah.
He has great velocity, but it's a super flat fastball.
That's not good.
Was he using a humidor or not?
From what I've seen, I think it's pretty flat. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head.
He was like free money in DFS last year because for whatever reason, DraftKings never moved him off of like $5,000. And he'd go out there and put up like 15 points every time. And it's, like allows you to get like an ace, pair him up with an ace. And he was free money there. I don't know. I was expecting, like at the end of last season, I was expecting to be more interested in him in draft season this year. And I don't think I ended up with him anywhere. By the way, I looked a little bit more at Griffin Jackson, awesome name, but he's pretty terrible too. I keep looking at the Twins. Like this team could be pretty good.
That was the most subtle way to just destroy somebody. Like he's terrible.
Pretty bad. He's pretty bad. But do we think that there's a chance that they could still trade for Frankie Montas?
Oh,
why you gotta kick people off down? I'm still here, man.
Yeah, poor JP, the Oakland fan here. You poor bastard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
man.
I hear you.
I mean, it'd be one thing if we were trading for like amazing players. We're trading for like the 26th best prospect. I'm like, awesome, great.
Yeah. It does seem like they're. I mean, I wouldn't really know, but it feels like it's bad value on those trades. It is kind of a bummer, seeing like your guys go and yeah.
I know Russell, who was here earlier, Russell Withers, loves Kevin Smith. And I like his bat. That's fun for you in Oakland.
Yep. Oh, I'm a huge Kevin Smith believer. I grabbed him last year in my 30-team league because he was, his prospect pedigree is pretty good. I thought he just did a terrible job. 1 year audition that he had. But yeah, I believe in Kevin. I think him and Tony Kemp are going to do amazing things in that lineup, and I'd grab him anywhere.
D. Lou. Oh, go ahead, Ryan. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I really like Christian Pache on Oakland in fantasy because his defense is incredible. He's going to play every day, and he's going to steal bases. I think he has a similar season to Manny Margot, maybe.
So you think 20 steals for Christian Pache is in play?
I think he can do that because he's probably going to play 150-plus games because his defense is so good.
Okay.
Wow.
And they probably trade Laureano eventually, no?
Oh, yeah. I mean, once he comes off the suspension, he'll look good, and they'll say, bye-bye. I see him as more of a trade deadline acquisition. Yes, I agree. Unless they keep Montas and Laureano for some reason because they want to keep a couple of guys. I don't know. Seems unlikely. Right, Dap Scout?
Yeah, they're selling everybody, and I don't even know why they even held on to those guys. If the price tag for what they just sent off is so low, I have no idea why anybody's still there or that even has a year of experience at Oakland. We need a new owner.
Well, that's never going to happen. Yeah. There's a lot of teams that need a new owner. You're definitely high on the list. D. Lou is my local boy here.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers, that's right. He's my Detroit pal. I met him last fall at first pitch for the first time. He had these flowing white locks, and he was this elder statesman. He was a badass. It was great to see you in real life, Dave. But he wants to know, buying Perdomo in Arizona as keeping the shortstop job. Wow. Anybody have thoughts on Perdomo in Arizona?
Well, short term he is, right? Josh Rojas is hurt, so I don't see him coming back very quickly.
No, it was a grade 2 oblique, I believe.
Okay, well, I mean, I only got a grade 7 once, and I don't know, but
yeah, grade 7, really? Okay.
But I think Rojas isn't that big of a hill to jump over. He could definitely take a hold of that. I think they want somebody to take a hold of that, and they would love to have Perdomo take it, but right now it's 50-50.
He's definitely a glove first guy. Maybe he's like a JP Crawford kind of guy. I don't know how good he's going to be in fantasy.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, he's got a high walk percentage for a guy who doesn't have much power and who's glove first. I'll give him that. His OBP a lot higher than his average. A big disparity from 231 to 351, and that was in 82 games, 344 plate appearances at AA last year. But 8 steals, 6 bombs. I mean, an ISO .086, so you're not gonna, get a lot of pop there probably. But you already said that he's a glove first guy. So I mean, if he steals bags and you need a steals guy, and he's playing every day. It's worth a shot in deeper leagues. Whoa. I just had, wow, that was crazy. I said the craziest deja vu ever. That was weird. Wow. It's like I dreamt that before. We were talking about that guy and those words I just said. That's weird. Has that ever happened to you guys? That's crazy.
There has happened so many times over like the last 2 years of my life. Like, drives me crazy. Yeah, it happens a lot now.
Wow. It's weird. I know it's bullshit probably, but it feels, I don't know, it's like this weird feeling that comes over you. And so they call it deja vu. I don't know if it's real or not, but it certainly feels weird when it happens in the moment. So,
like when we die, I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't know that I really care to know what's going to happen after we die. Like, I don't really want the answer or anything, but I hope at some point, like after we die, at least can we find out what deja vu meant that whole time? Like, what was that? Did we
you will not
in another life talk about the Arizona shortstop? Like, just I'm gonna need some answers on that. The rest of the shit, I don't know. Whatever. It is what it is.
If you could give me that answer, and if I could eat food okay about 3 days after the expiration date, that would be the two things I really want to know. So if I get those two answers after I die, I'm good.
Oh, and let me know why O'Neal Cruz didn't make the Pirates. Just those three things.
Yeah.
All right,
Can we
we've
find
got a
that
list.
out? I think we know the answer to that one. Money. I got to tell you, it is fascinating when shit like that happens. And I'm with you, Brock. I want a few answers when I die, too. I'm always telling people that. That's why you should enjoy the time you got now, because you never know when it's over. Sounds cheesy, sounds cliche, but you really do not know. So live it up while you can, I say. Let's do I think we're kind of getting to the end of this thing, I suppose. We had a lot of guests. I want to get some final thoughts here, and we'll call it a day. I want to thank everybody who came on the show. And, I mean, Daft's been here for a good hour at least, if not more. So you've been a trooper, my friend.
I'm waiting for you to kick me off, man. I just assumed
No!
you're like, oh, God, this guy keeps talking about weather. I swear to God, he needs to get on the show.
Yeah, you've never been on the show, so I'm so glad that you came on for this event. I've had Brock and Ryan on before. It's no offense to you, Dap. I love you. You're a good dude. Okay. It's just, how do you decide who to invite next? I don't know. There's not like we need like a system, a fantasy baseball guest system where they get filtered into a database, and then we hang out with mediators who tell us, this is who's up next, and then we'll just go from there. It'd be a lot easier for me.
Like a minor leagues, and then you do call-ups.
Yes, exactly. Let's stack these shows and put more labels on them and create more divisiveness by separating them. I think that'll really help everybody.
Perfect. I love it.
So Dapscout, you're the O'Neal Cruz of fantasy baseball analysts. Just waiting for the call up.
I am O'Neal Cruz's little sister that nobody's ever met and didn't even know existed until right
now. Okay, so I want to get everybody's picks here for World Series style. So, Dap, who you got for the World Series? Give me the two teams and a winner.
I'm going to go Twins Marlins because nobody's going to pick them. And I'm going to say Twins are going to win just because why not? That way, when it happens, I could say, I nailed that. So, yeah. Do I believe it? No. But I just want to say it.
Hey, get it. I want you to get on the record now. And that's what the show's all about today. Getting on the record before opening day starts. Last chance. Yeah. All right, Brock, what do you got? Who you got in the World Series, baby?
I think I'm probably, if I had to just pick, I'm just going to pick the favorites for obvious reasons. But I will say that the team that I put money on, I like the odds. The Brewers. The Brewers they were like plus 1,400 to win the World Series or something like that, and they should kind of be up there like plus 600. So I think that's a good bet. Them for that and to win the National League. I placed both of those bets. I'm just seeing on Twitter, though, this is pretty interesting. Ronald Acuna Jr. was just on IG Live, and he was saying on IG that he will not miss Freddie Freeman. They had friction. Freeman didn't care when Acuna got hit by pitches, and he was overbearing, and he wasn't somebody that Acuna could ever talk to. That's what he said about Freddie Freeman right now.
Damn! Wowzers! How about that shit? That's pretty. You don't get that type of outward discussion about individual players. Huh.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Anyway, so I was saying we should do a dong of the day. Everybody pick who's their pick to hit a home run tomorrow in tomorrow's matchup. It's kind of something that, I started doing that on Twitter, and like 2015, we would just do Dong of the Day. Like we would do it like every day. Everybody that played DFS, we'd play like $2 DFS contest, and everybody picked their Dong of the Day. So, I mean, I think the most obvious one is Juan Soto going up against Tyler Mcgill. It's pretty an obvious one there. Mcgill struggles with the left-handed bats, so Juan Soto, he's okay.
Victory lap certified.
I like it. Dong of the Day. This is fun. I'm going to go with, how about Tyler O'Neill against JT Brubaker tomorrow? Dong of the Day.
A good one. Brubaker, homer prone. I like it.
I'm gonna go Rowdy Tellez and Josh Bell.
Oh, okay. Josh Bell got the ill communication or not? I'm not sure.
I like it.
By the way, we have an update real quick, Dap, before we get to your Dong of the Day. Jason says that deja vu typically happens when you have experienced something similar, but it wasn't important enough to make it an important memory. So when it happens again, you vaguely remember doing it before. I've done many episodes of this show, so it's very possible that's exactly what happened to me. I just talked about another player, and it seemed like another experience from the past. So, and Patrick loves it. Yes, thanks, Brock. Dong of the Day. He loves the dongs. Now I understand what he was talking about in the chat earlier. And Jason said, so you probably made a similar comment before. Yes, I recognize that. Jaybird's going to go for his Dong of the Day as Matt Olson, making his debut for Atlanta tomorrow. He's going to go Yambo tomorrow.
Wow.
All right, who you got, Dap?
Chapman. Matt Chapman all day long. He's
Ooh.
going to be so excited to be out of Oakland. He's going to be in a hitter-friendly stadium, and he's going to just destroy that ball. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits two dingers. I mean, he's gonna go crazy.
I love it. The Blue Jays, they make their debut on Friday. Is that right? They got the It's fine. It's opening day. It doesn't matter which day it is. The Rangers at home. That's a great pick. I like that.
There you go. I mean, and the humidor. I mean, come on.
Humidor. I need a humidor drop of some time. That definitely needs to be in this show. I also, Tyler Molly, he's the opening day starter for the Reds, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
And Reaver San Martin on Friday. Right. Yeah.
So Matt also would take Molly Yard, and Molly had much better numbers on the road versus Great American Ballpark last year. In fact, shout out to one of my oldest friends, Steve, who was watching the show. Shout out to you right now, and he told me about a ridiculous ERA that Molly had at Great American Ballpark last year. I did not know how bad it really was. So he might pitch a lot better and not give up that bomb to Matt Olson. But who am I to judge you, Jay Bird? I acquiesce to the more experienced pro like you. Okay, Matt Chapman, by the way, is a guy that I have rostered heavily. I think at least 60% of my leagues. I'm in love with Yohan Moncada at third. I always have been, but I'm trying to wean myself off of that because I don't know. It just doesn't.
The itch and the chafing.
Yeah. Yes, it's like I mean, what do you guys say? Yohan Moncada, is he going to be healthy and bounce back this year from the 2019 that we saw, the historic BABIP that he had in 2019? It was like 406 BABIP, and he hit 315 for the year. Is that something that was a fluke? Or is that going to happen again in 2022 as the White Sox take it to another level? Anybody?
There's 1,000 players on the White Sox now. I mean, it would be one thing if it was 2 years ago, but I mean, if he hits a cold streak, they're not going to let him just play it out. I just don't see it happening. I would love it. The guy is so exciting. He's another one of those exciting players, but I just he's going to need some leash, and I don't think they're going to give it to him at the White Sox right now. Not with that roster.
Damn! What was the question about Moncada?
Yeah, it's at this point, is Moncada the guy that he was in 2019, or is that just a mirage, a fluke?
I just don't think Moncada's like a much, much, much better real life player than fantasy player. I know that he wants to steal more bases, but he's like a line drive spray to all fields hitter. He's not trying to hit homers. I mean, maybe he can hit for a decent average because he has really high line drive rate, hits for a high average, but I'm not a fan of Moncada in fantasy. Personally.
Damn it. Okay. What about you, Brock? Any hope for Moncada to relive the 2019 season?
Yeah. I think the price came down to a good spot. this draft season. I'm pretty comfortable where he was. I mean, I don't have like some kind of secret read on him that, kind of tells me what the future is going to hold for him. But, if you kind of look where he is, if he's somewhere in between what he was last year and in 2019, I think he's a pretty decent bet for the price.
Okay. Well, hey, we're not asking for secrets, Brock. I just want you to keep it real, be yourself. But if you have any secrets to share, they're always welcome. On the Palazzo Podcast, we're all about secrets.
It's time for the Palazzo Podcast Draft Secret.
That was actually from an old show because the drafts are over now. Although you're DFS drafting, which is not really drafting, you're just kind of making a lineup. Anybody here? I know, Brock, you play DFS, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to have time this year. I'm not sure it's going to work out. I'm not writing about DFS this year for the first time in 8 years, I think. It's been eight years. Been a good run, but yeah, probably not this year. It's too busy. 2 jobs. I have 2 jobs now.
Dude, you took on a whole nother enterprise, my friend. I hear you. I know what you got going on. So I respect that. And we can only have so much time in a day for the fantasy analysis and our actual lives and our jobs and our friends and our loved ones, yada, 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 yada. So I get it completely. Jason says, thanks, everyone. This was amazing with capital letters. You all rock. Really appreciate all the hard work you guys do to make it look like I know what I'm doing in fantasy. Well, that's what everybody on this show who came by today tries to do. We love baseball, but we also like the community we get here. We get to connect. I mean, I know all 3 of you guys now, and I never would have known any of you if it wasn't for fantasy baseball and getting on Twitter. Twitter actually has positive benefits. I've always said this, and I will always maintain it. It gets a lot of shit, and people dump on it because they use it for the wrong reasons. But if you use it for the right reasons, you can really make a lot out of it. It can be a benefit in your life. It really can. And there it is.
There's like there's 3 positives and 9 million negatives, but the 3 positives weigh really heavily.
I love your fucking point of view, Ryan. You're the best. So I guess that leaves me. I'm going to take the Blue Jays and the Dodgers in the World Series. I talked about it yesterday on the Prospect Show, which we do every Tuesday at 5 p.m. But yeah, I wanted to amend it, get the Blue Jays in there. I really think they got something working there. And if they can get out of the AL East, which may be the most difficult division in baseball outside of the Orioles, then I think they got a real shot. I don't know if they'll win it, but it just seems like it's the Dodgers' destiny once again. If the Dodgers blow it, which, they have blown it a few times, they should have had probably more than 1 championship by now. I think it's fair to say. They've had loaded teams forever. But that's why we play the games, and that's why we do this. And opening day is going to be tomorrow, so we got the dongs of the day on the board. I want to do who gives the best pitching performance tomorrow. Give me the one guy for opening day who just hit his lights out tomorrow. It could be an easy call like a Corbin Burns, or give me a wild card. Who you got, Dap?
I'm trying to think who actually plays tomorrow. So I got to look up. Oh man, because I
put you on the spot.
Yeah, I got Thursday, Friday. Oh man, who's pitching? Okay, give me a second. Come back to me.
Well, look, we got a guest at last second. We were just about to close out the show, but Robbie just showed up as I was kissing the Blue Jays' ass. So how about that? And then Ray Butler shows up. Oh, hey, the show continues. The show never ends. Robbie just showed up as I was kissing the Blue Jays' ass. So how about that? Wow, I'm check your I'm hearing the show in my head. I don't know if you guys
I hear it too.
Make sure you check your headphones and all that shit. Robbie, welcome, Robbie. Hi.
Hi. We were recording dingers, and then we ended, and I said, Ty, I don't know how links work when they're on my phone, but I want them on my computer. Can you help me? So he did. So that's how I got to be here now, thanks to the magic. But look, see, I started the wave. Everyone's returning because they want to hang out with you, Gobier.
You did. We were just doing our closing thoughts, and we were going to do our pitching performances of the day, and we gave our World Series picks and our dong of the day. And now here's Robbie. Ray Butler's here. Ben Palmer just showed up. So wow, Ray, welcome to the show, Ray. I've never actually had you on the show before, so this is your Palazzo Podcast debut.
That's right. I'm currently drafting a main event. So,
nice. What round you in?
We are in round 21.
Hell yeah.
I've never started a draft the way I started. I started Corbin Burns, Liam Hendricks, and Zach Wheeler. 3 in a row.
What were you, like seven pick, 8?
5.
5?
Yeah, I went Corbin Burns over Garrett Cole.
Whoa. Okay.
I like that.
Love it.
I like that.
And Liam Hendricks. What was your 3rd and 4th pick?
Zach Wheeler 3rd, and first hitter, Julio Rodriguez.
Julio in the 4th. Damn.
Wow. My testicles are on the table right now.
Yeah, Ray, do. Hey, I want to hear more about that, but Dap Scout has got to run. Dap Scout has to leave us. He's been on the show here for like an hour and 20 minutes. I want you guys all follow him on Twitter at Dap Scout. Read his work. JP's doing incredible work. He has a unique voice in his articles, and I want you guys to get connected with that. Thank you for being here. And hey, Byron Buxton over under 105 games.
Under, sadly.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Thank you guys so much.
Take care, JP. Okay, sorry to interrupt. Back to you, Ray Butler.
I gotta go.
Oh,
I gotta go.
Ryan's got to go too. Ryan, over under 105 games on Buxton?
Everyone's saying under, so I'll go over.
Yeah, my man. Ryan's the shit. With Sales Ahead is his band, and he's writing at SK Playbook now with Mike Curlin. Isn't that right?
Yeah. I'm probably gonna do 1 article a week with Curland, 1 for Fantrax a week.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool. So skplaybook.com. Check out that website. Ryan, great to see you, my man. Be safe on your travels.
Thanks for having me, man. Later.
See ya.
Wait, it's Curland?
Yeah, well, that's Venancio, and then Mike Curlin does the SK Playbook, and that's Ben Palmer, by the way. Ben's here. Hello, Ben. Hi.
Hi. Wait, so it's not Kirkland.
No, it's
because
Kerr.
All this time, until just now, I definitely thought it was Kirkland, and I was like, "Oh, he screwed up." And then, yeah, now I know.
Okay,
now I know. You know
there
what?
It is.
You know what? Even at past midnight on what is now technically a Thursday, you learn new things.
Yeah, Ben, welcome. It's good to have you here. Ray was talking about his main event team. So, Ray, you went Corbin Burns over Garrett Cole. That's badass. I had Burns as my number 1 starting pitcher coming into the season. I mean, I don't think it's a huge separation in my opinion, but if you asked me, I would take Burns. So I'm with you, Ray. I support that move.
Yeah, it's definitely really, really close for me. Obviously, ADP in the main events is going to lean towards Garrett Cole. For me, I kind of think I like the Brewers this year more than I like the Yankees. Division-wise, I don't think it's close.
Yep.
And you know, I always, when it gets down and the margin is so narrow, I always say, you know, what am I going to be able to sleep at night? You know, who am I going to pick and be able to put my head on my pillow and sleep well? And that was Corbin Burns over Garrett Cole for me.
Is this your first main?
I drafted a main last year, came in 3rd in my league, so this is my 2nd one. First one this year.
But your first one this year.
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of wondering.
No
way. Garrett Cole in another one. Like last weekend, you went Garrett Cole. This weekend, you're going to go Burns and kind of hedge. Like I heard
right,
people
yeah.
kind of
No,
doing
this
that.
is my only main. I drafted one last year, drafted one drafted one last year, drafted one this year. So
Moose.
Wow, yeah, the Moose is here. There he is. Ray, that is so bizarre. I said no way because you and I both did our first main events last year, and we both finished in 3rd place. How about that?
Well, let's both win our leagues this year. How about that?
Yeah, well, that's the thing now. We don't have a lot of wiggle room to go backwards. We can only go 2nd or 1st this year, and I would absolutely love that. And I hope that goes for both of us. We got a comment here. I want to mention this. Jason says in the auction championship, he got Julio Rodriguez and Torkelson for $2 each.
You know, one of the things I figured out, you know, I intentionally scheduled my main event for tonight because in my mind, I wanted as much information about injuries, lineups, rosters as I possibly could have before I drafted. And now I've decided I think next year I'm going to do one of the earlier ones because a lot of the guys, a lot of my targets, their ADB has gone up the past couple of weeks. More people seem to be on them now than they were, you know, when the Vegas main events happened. So I think next year I'm going to go earlier and kind of take a chance at one of my guys getting hurt or not making a roster and instead, you know, perhaps give my guys at more affordable prices.
That's a great call. I'm completely with you. I kind of thought about that after I was in Vegas, and I'm like, why did I do this now? Why didn't I just wait? I mean, Brock was there. Me and Brock were live. That's when we met in real life for the first time. How do you feel about doing it when you did it? Do you have any regrets about it? I mean, I know we wanted to go there in person and get that experience, which you can't really put a price on. But to Ray's point, if you wait a little bit later, you got more knowledge, more information, and in an overall, it does seem like a slight advantage.
I did so many drafts this draft season already. So 2 weeks ago, I was ready. I was more than willing to leverage some of the news to try and use that to my advantage. I got Julio 256 overall. Got him in the 18th round. I got Zach Gallen in the 17th round for like, I mean, I know he's always hurt, but he's going in the 11th round all draft season long. And then, you know, he starts trickling down there. And 2 days later, he went and threw like 3 or 4 innings in a spring training game. Like he's fine. You know, I got him in the 17th for no reason. I like to try and use it to my advantage. But I definitely see Ray's point in, you know, approaching it that way too.
Absolutely. I had the league behind me too. Zach Gallen also went in the 17th round. It was crazy. I was bitter because I wanted that price. I was like, damn it!
I need some Zach Gallen.
Not a target of mine, but
yeah. No, right. But at a certain point, yeah, you're like, I got to do that. I got to get it on. Other people who are in that league,
you have failed.
Yeah, you blew it. Robbie, you are the host of the Dingers podcast. We had your pal Ty on, your co-host earlier. He started it. You're going to close it out. And I hear you love Mickey Moniak. Is that true?
No, I don't love Mickey
he's lying.
But if you want to talk about a better version of Zach Gallen, you can talk about Chris Bubik, who will be getting some Cy Young votes. All right. Not as many as Patrick Sandoval, who's going to win it all, but you'll see, guys. The love towards
Victory
Gallen,
Lap certified.
I just don't understand the Gallen love when Bubik can be out there throwing. Now, the issue with Bubik is, of course, strikes, not balls. But if he's gonna have Sal Perez helping this year instead of hitting 48 dingers, we could actually see a good rotation in Kansas City instead of that, you know, shit show we saw of all the prospects coming up and failing miserably. It would be nice if Sal Perez was, you know, defensive catcher Sal Perez. So, but anyway, that's my take there. Yeah,
that must be Ray.
That is
I
my
heard
bad.
that.
I need to mute.
Who's the pick?
Yeah, who's the pick, Ray? We got real time. This is exciting.
326th overall. Actually going to go with a bench bat. I'm going with Max Kepler.
Not worried about a platoon situation there?
I just think it's a underrated amount of speed. He stole 10 bags last year. He might get 8 this year. I'm in a little bit of a need for speed. I also think he hits for a little bit more power. He's never going to hit for a high average. But I have him around 275. So to get him where I got him at 327, I'll take that every day.
Hell yeah. Live main event pick on the Palazzo Podcast. First annual Opening Day Eve BOZOFEST. It's technically opening day on the East Coast. We just passed midnight, which is exciting. Ben, you're on the East Coast over here with me and Robbie. Ray, are you East Coast time or is it Central? I think it's Central.
I'm Central. I'm in West Tennessee.
That's what I thought. Okay, cool. Ben, what about Bubik? I mean, you know a little bit about pitching. Is Chris Bubik someone you're excited about?
You know, it's interesting. I hadn't really thought much about Bubik, but I was taking a look at him now, and I will say one thing I do like. I like a guy, as much as I'm somebody who preaches the the usefulness of pitching backwards and having, you know, good breakers and abandoning bad fastballs. I do like a guy who has a really solid fastball and has some breaking or off-speed stuff he can work with, and Bubik does have that. I mean, his fastball last year was pretty great. I mean, he had a little trouble locating it. It had a pretty high walk rate, but I mean, it induced a lot of weak contact. And then his changeup was a pretty nice little swing and miss pitch. So if he can kind of rein in the control, I guess, of his fastball and the command of his changeup, because it got launched. It had like a 250 something ISO again, so it got launched a bit. But I don't know. He's got some raw tools. It's definitely someone to keep an eye on.
It's progression.
It's an interesting name. I am curious though. So to the talk of Burns versus Cole, the one concern, and I love Corbin Burns. So obviously when you're this high in like your top pitchers, you're nitpicking. But my one concern with Burns is that he is probably likely to go 6 frames or less more often than Cole is, just because of the way Craig Counsell kind of does things, and also because of the quality of Milwaukee's bullpen. So I'm curious if that is, again, it's nitpicking because you're talking like 1 and 1A or 1 and 2. But I'm wondering for you guys, is that like, that might be enough for me to take Cole over Burns, but it's close. I mean, I could go either way.
Get trusted. I'll say for myself as a baseball fan and watching a lot of AL East and seeing how Cole handled last year and like how the move to the Yankees was supposed to like be the end of him. He's just so damn good. He's so Mr. Consistent. And to see him come into AL East ballparks and still dominate lineups and get all the Ks and do all the things, it's hard to bet against him. So like the ceiling for Burns is, I think what's fascinating to everyone is how much better can he be? But like the floor is all Cole. Like he's,
floor is,
that's the advantage, I guess, in that. And I'm a big dynasty guy. And like when Cole was with Pittsburgh and sucking, and then immediately after that trade happened to Houston, I was trying to collect him everywhere I could, thinking, well, he can't be worse. But like that's when value's low, just like Corbin Burns out of the bullpen, not going to be a starter. And then, people go around and collect him then and take that chance. And those are the league champions that we're all trying to catch now.
I traded away Corbin Burns in a dynasty league back when he was struggling.
As did I.
I think I have the trade here. It's an embarrassing trade, but you know what? I traded away.
Honesty.
Oh God, I can't believe I did this. Yikes. Okay. I traded away Corbin Burns and Bryson Stott for Dansby Swanson. This was preseason 2020. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There are worse moves to make. At least you got MLB player on your team, so the long game.
Yeah, but now I'm like sitting there and I'm like, damn, I had him too. I had him.
Yeah. I traded him trying to win a league one year, and I forget whoever it was that I got back, but it was like 8 innings of that pitcher. Oh, it was John Means, and then Means was like out for a couple weeks. Yeah. And I thought it was a good move,
failed.
but yeah, that's exactly what happens. And Govia, that's in the dynasty league that we're in together. Two-time.
That's right. My $49 million. You're yes, of course. Robbie always introduces himself as 2-time runner-up.
Also, something important to remember with Garrett Cole, talking about the AL East, one of those ballparks is no longer super hitter friendly anymore.
A little bit bigger. A little bit bigger.
Now Camden Yards with the left field extended out to about, I saw a picture of it today. It's like around 390 now in left field. Still a low wall, but further distance, that park becomes a lot more neutral. I wouldn't say I think last I heard, it's not really pitcher friendly, but it's not Coors Light. Like it's not the second best hitters park in baseball anymore. And really it was just the second best home run park in baseball. Not anymore. So that just kind of, Cole's going to pitch plenty of games in Camden Yards, and all of a sudden he's not pitching in one of the best hitters parks in baseball anymore.
Yeah, and there's less of the Jays in Dunedin, less of the Jays in Buffalo. It'll just be the Jays in Rogers Center. So
Skydome.
Yeah,
I pitched Skydome. Skydome is how I know it. That's the one time I saw the Blue Jays. I saw the Blue Jays play the Orioles in the Skydome at the time, and that was where my mother, diehard Orioles fan. So there's an Orioles tradition where during the national anthem, you shout "Oh" when they get to the last "Oh." Say, "Can you see?" Everyone in the stadium goes "Oh" really loudly. So we're in Canada, and they're doing the American national anthem, and my mother stands up and shouts "Oh" as loud as humanly possible. And I swear to God, she was the only person in the entire stadium. I mean,
Hey, good for her.
I mean, it echoed, and there was a bunch of people looking at us like, "Were we? What's wrong with her?" My dad didn't do it. She was alone, completely alone.
That's
I
even
mean-
better. That's a true fan. You're doing what you're supposed to do, and that's a true fan.
Hell yeah.
And I'm sitting there. I'm like 13. Like, oh my god.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet you were really embarrassed, especially if you're a teenager. Oh, we got a new guest here, though. We got to say welcome to Chris Brown, my main man, my Detroit guy. He's live here with us. He talks about the Tigers a lot. Chris, how often do you talk about the Detroit Tigers? When
Every 35 seconds or so. Sorry, I muted myself because as soon as I turned this on, my dog went absolutely nuts and started grabbing a squeaky toy. So
we love dogs.
Yep, there it is.
There it is. Yeah. This is a pro dog show.
I forgot about this until I saw you. You said that you're still on. I'm like, oh no. So I just wanted to pop in and say hello because I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, dude, I wanted to get everybody I've ever known in fantasy baseball on this show. And we've not quite gotten there. We've had a nice, healthy showing, which I'm grateful for all you guys that came on tonight. Everybody was on here earlier. We had 10 deep. The max on a StreamYard cast is 10, so we definitely achieved that more than once. But, Chris, you guys do such good work with the Tigers. And for people who are trying to learn more about Tigers prospects, Tigers Minor League Report, you and Rogelio Castillo, who is your partner in crime and also a friend of mine, does great work. You guys are on the road together. You guys go to Erie, which is the AA affiliate for the Tigers. You guys go to Toledo. You guys are all, I don't know if you go to Lakeland. I don't think you've gone that far yet, but I mean, in terms of driving down there and driving back, not exactly close.
But Raj went there last year. He was down in Lakeland at the beginning of the year when guys like Gage Workman were still down there. Sorry about the squeaks.
I think it's bringing a lot. I honestly think the dog squeaks are.
He was for like 10 minutes, and so he's come in and lost his shit. We were in Toledo yesterday for opening day down there, and so
That sounds like a person. That actually that sounds like you captured a small fairy.
It is. There's a pain thing. I mean, I think that's kind of the appeal for the dog, right? He wants it to sound like it's a dying animal. I mean, he sits. There are chipmunks that go on our front porch every day and drive him absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
He scratches at the window. He doesn't ever learn. It's like 45 minutes of every day. He's never going to get those chipmunks, but he's never going to stop trying, which is inspiring in some ways.
Something to be said for that.
But you got to say goodbye to Brock. Brock's going to leave here. Brock's got to get to bed. He's been on the show for about an hour or so. Brock, love seeing you, dude. I'm so glad we got to meet each other, even if it was just so briefly in Vegas recently for the main event. Remind everybody who your dong of the day was for tomorrow, opening day.
Oh, I went with the chalk. I'm going with Juan Soto. He's definitely going to hit a home run tomorrow. Yeah, that was an easy one. There were some good calls earlier.
Yeah, that was fun. We'll do more of those for you guys to get on the board yet. But Brock, great seeing you. Make sure you guys all follow Brockness Monster on Twitter. And hey, happy opening day, my friend.
Happy opening day. See you guys later.
Bye-bye. Yeah, Brock's the best. I love Brock. He's a really, really good dude. Takes care of his body, too. Very sexy, by the way. Chris, Chris, how do we like the
unnecessary?
Like Jose
Oh, it's so
Herrera,
true.
sexy?
He worked so hard on it. Guys. I got to give him the credit. I want to say, opening day for the Tigers. You're my Tigers guy here. What are you expecting for the first game? Do you think it'll be played, first off, with the weather?
I don't know. Yeah, they're saying 50% chance of rain. If it's like it was earlier today here, it's not gonna happen. But I don't know, man. You know, they got start off the season with 10 straight games. They've already had to squeeze in those extra 2 series that were banged for the lockout. I think they're gonna do their best to get it played, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I went to opening day a couple years ago, and it was 32, 33 degrees, and I couldn't feel my
par for the course here.
So yeah, it was not great. But rain makes that so much worse. So I don't know. Just kind of crossing our fingers that it might just head a little, maybe pass around Comerica Park somehow.
Go Tigers.
All right, I won't harp on the Tigers any longer. I just want to know, are you going to be on the Mize or Scooble bandwagon for 2022 only this year? Who has the more productive fantasy season, Mize or Scooble?
I would have. I've always been more into Scooble just because of the strikeouts. Mize has that kind of weird, just he's reliable. He hardly had any blow up starts last year, so like he's going to give you more chances to pick up wins, I assume. But Skubal, if Skubal gets right, he reminds me a lot of like Max Scherzer when he was figuring things out. Like there are times when he looks unhittable, but he'll have these stretches where he will take a pitch or two off and throw a fastball right down the middle like 92, and then he goes So he's still learning, but I think you're going to get some games from Skubal this year of like 10, 12, 14 strikeouts maybe. And, depending on what kind of league you're in, I guess they could help.
Victory lap certified.
There it is. You didn't call it victory lap, but I'm just making fun of you. Locking that in. I love Skubal over Mize this year, but I agree with everything you said about the consistency. Let's go back over to Robbie. Mize or Skubal? I kind of want to know now because I know you know the Tigers a bit.
I do. I think it's going to be Mize, but it's going to be like a boring win. It's not going to be it's the floor win. It's not going to be the exciting strikeouts because he just doesn't do it enough. But there is a Kansas City pitcher that does, Brady Singer. But he's what Mize hopes he can be. But yeah, you've got, and it's not like I'm a Kansas City fan. I don't know. I bought the hat because of all of their starting pitchers a few years ago. I just had to do it. And they've all failed miserably so far, but that's okay. I like Detroit's lineup.
You have failed.
The one thing they do have the ability to do this year that they didn't last year is get more wins because that lineup around is going to be beautiful. And the Awesome Meadows edition, it's just, we need some more Robbie Grossman average. That would be fun and exciting.
Dude, I love hearing that. I'm excited. It's actually exciting. Tigers fandom is exciting right now. I'm going to go over to Ben. Before I get to Ben, though, I want to drop this comment from my good friend Steve, who's watching the show. He just texted me, and he says, I clocked Ray Butler's accent a few dozen miles east. Like he definitely co-starred in Justified or was on the Trillbilly Workers Pod. I probably saw him at a Tyler Childers concert. I don't know what half of that shit means, but it sounds funny.
Milan, Tennessee, population 8,000.
Oh, okay. My friend Steve, who texted that, he lives in South Carolina, so he's down there in the South with you as well. How's the draft going, by the way, Ray? Are you almost done?
We are in round 25, so kind of hitting the home stretch.
Okay, now it's time to take some risks, take some flyers. If it doesn't work out, you can always drop them and pick them up for fab.
Yep, some closer specs, some kind of deep cuts coming up.
Nice. That's awesome. Ben, what about you? Mize or Skubal?
Definitely Skubal for me. And I think like by a good bit. I like Skubal a lot. I like what he's got. Definitely has some problems, but I don't know. Casey Mize right now, I just kind of, there's a lot of pitchers I'm more interested in. Someone I'm more interested in. So one of my favorite pitchers that's going like late in drafts, if not entirely free, is Zach Thompson, who is probably most likely starting the starting rotation for the Pirates. Love me some Zach Thompson, and I will take someone like him, for example, over Casey Mize. Thompson had a 3.2 ERA last year in 14 starts, and everyone's like ignoring him. And he's got a killer cutter, great changeup,
and he got traded for his efforts.
Curveball, got traded to the Pirates. He's gonna start because it's not like the Pirates have like this star-studded rotation that's gonna keep him out. So I think I have Zach Thompson in probably all of my leagues, maybe, or most of them at least. But my Tigers question though, Chris, when is Spencer Turnbull gonna finally be the incredible pitcher that I know he can be? I know he's hurt, but it's gonna happen, right?
Dog's still squeaking. He just signed him to a 2-year deal to avoid the arbitration stuff. So I think that they believe in him too. It sure felt like it was coming last year. Finally, this dude we could never figure out what was going on with his pitches. It was like, why is everything's going the opposite direction it should? And it turns out he was just a seam shifted weight guy before we really kind of knew what that was. And he was throwing strikes like crazy last year, got the no hitter. And then I would expect, I don't even know when he's scheduled to start throwing again. I think maybe August.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe he can weasel into the bullpen in September if something happens. But yeah, I think you're looking at next year as, the Spencer Turnbull comeback tour. And hopefully he's one of those guys who can avoid too much, growing pains coming back from the TJ. But I don't know. Sometimes guys never come back quite right, or the control doesn't come back. So we'll see.
I love him. I want him to succeed so much. He's one of those guys that I've just been hanging on to for I swear to God, it's been 3 years now where I've been Spencer Turnbull's going to be good, but that doesn't always work out. I also had that with Griffin Canning, and finally fell off that train. Even though I love that he was in sleeper articles for me for 3 years, and then it was also who was the pitcher who was with the Marlins and then went to the Rays? Trevor Richards, who had the incredible changeup. And I
know this list inside and out, Ben. Your top 10 most unhittable pitches, Richards, Turnbull, all these guys were on that list. Yep.
Yeah, Richards was in there pretty frequently, and I was just one of these days he's going to figure it out. And
was it Richards' curveball? Was it his curveball or change?
Changeup.
Richards
has an absolutely filthy changeup. I mean, just ridiculous. But he's a bullpen arm now, so
do you still do that? Do you do your yearly most unhittable pitches list? Or you do that every year?
Yeah. So I have every year I do the 10 most chased pitches. So the 10 pitches with the highest chase rates from last year, and then I do the top 5 pitches of each pitch type, which I rank by p-val. So I did that this year. The whole every type of pitch, the top 5 of each pitch type.
That was my first introduction to you. Was those lists back in 2019, 2020? I was what's this Ben Palmer guy?
Yeah, I've been doing it for 3-4 years now. Most chase pitches probably 3 or 4 years too. It's it doesn't feel like it was that long, but it definitely was. Does anybody want to hazard a guess at what the most chase pitch of 2021 was? Highest chase rate. This is among starting pitchers, so it was a pitch that was thrown a lot. It's not like a guy who threw it 10 times and got 5 chases, and so it was a 50% chase rate. Any thoughts? Most chased pitch 2021. The pitch had a 49.6% chase rate.
Was it Gosman's splitter?
Good guess. It was not. Gosman's splitter was actually Alex Cobb's splitter was on the list. He had the 3rd most chased pitch, believe it or not. The Thing. I don't know if Gosman. Gosman was not on the list. Number 1, it is. So I will give you kind of a hint. It's an obvious guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is it Burns?
It's not Burns.
I was thinking maybe Robbie Ray might be on the list.
It's not Robbie Ray.
Was that Otis splitter?
It is Jacob deGrom's slider.
All right, I guess.
It's an obvious one. DeGrom's slider had a 49.6% chase rate, followed by Clayton Kershaw's slider.
Oh, wow.
I thought
trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball.
I thought we were talking raw numbers.
Oh,
chase rates. Yeah. Jacob deGrom's slider, almost 50% of the time it got chased out of the strike zone. It's wild.
That's not surprising, I guess. It should have been that obvious. You did say it was obvious.
Probably the most surprising person on the list. I mean, Yusei Kikuchi's slider was number 7, which is awesome.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I like Kikuchi a lot this year. But yeah, I mean, he had a top 10 most chased pitch. And so did Pablo Lopez. His changeup, Zach Davies' changeup was on the list. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, and Alex Wood's
good
slider.
name, and then something you want nothing to do with. Alex Wood, I like. There we go. I'm okay with.
You do. You like Alex Wood? You sick fuck.
Yeah, I know.
Alex Wood's slider, and then Luis Castillo's changeup, rounding it out.
Yes.
Tied
that's
with
a good
Kenta Maeda's
pitch.
splitter, but we're not going to see Maeda. So.
Oh man. That really. Hey, you talked about that bogus trade you made in Dynasty earlier, Ben. I will admit that, and I've talked about it on the show before. For those of you that listen or watch, I didn't trade. I kept Kenta Maeda over Corbin Burns going into last year, going into 2021. Devastating, absolutely devastating.
Maeda had that absurdly ridiculous year, didn't he? That was Yeah, it was like 2020 where he just
it was a
lit
short
it up.
season, but
and then 2021 he crashed.
I have a buddy where I'm not a deep fantasy player like you guys. I've had a league, basically one league I've been in for like 25 years, whatever. It's a very basic. There's 16 teams. We have full keepers every year. It's like if you want to rebuild, you either have to trade your prospects for veterans or vice versa. And my buddy was offered Bobby Witt Jr. for Keston Hura straight up last year and turned it down.
Whoopsie-daisy. Yeah, that'll happen. Hey, mine's still pretty shitty. So I also didn't keep Shohei Ohtani last year going into that season, and I loved him. It was so stupid. I thought I could get him back in the early rounds. It was an 8-keeper head-to-head league, and I thought I could get him early on. And actually, Steve, who's watching, who just texted me earlier, he sniped me on Shohei, and now he's a keeper on Steve's team for the next 5 years because there's no limits on keepers in that league. So, and Robbie, you know a lot about that. I mean, you have had so many experiences in your dynasty leagues where you probably did things you wish you hadn't done, but you've also probably won over several trade offers. I bet you've gotten the best of several people.
The fun part for me is always finding the guy that the Drew Rasmussen before he starts. When you see that he's now in Tampa Bay, and then you find out that there's a backstory as to Tampa Bay drafting him and trying to do all these things, you're like, I bet they really like him. So then you go and get him for nothing because he's just an RP that was on Milwaukee doing nothing. And you're like, I think there's something here. And then that's the dynasty trade. Those are my favorite ones. Or like Ramon Urias with Baltimore, where he's sitting out there in your prospect draft and nobody gives a crap. And you're like, you know what? Baltimore's so bad. He's not just going to get an opportunity. He's going to get like some leg to this opportunity. And then you roll those guys out. It's the win ugly approach. None of my teams look good by design. And then I continue to win because slowly but surely those players, they emerge, and then you have an ugly looking rotation. But 2 years from now, it's Alcantara, Bieber, and I don't know. Go look at my team and to be named later. It's the rotation is scary, and then it's now headed by Scherzer. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're incredible. Everyone knows it. I bow before you, Robbie. Oh, hail RobbieBaseball.com.
Baltimore's going to be better, I promise. I know they're bad. They're not going to lose 100 games this year. I hope.
That's right. Let's just keep
Tyler Wells.
rebuilding.
Tyler Wells. I was so excited for him to be the closer, but I'm perfectly fine for him to be the piggyback rotation guy. Maybe, we see 100.
You want to know my dark horse closer candidate for the Orioles?
Yes, Jorge Lopez.
Yeah, there it is. Bautista.
Here's why. If he can rein in his control a little bit, the guy throws like a closer. Throws about 100 miles an hour, has a pretty nasty splitter. He's got a nice, it controls a little bit of an issue, but I don't know, man. We've seen Jorge Lopez, and
it's rough.
Not great.
It is rough.
We've seen Dylan Tate.
Don't forget Cesar Valdez last year. What's rougher than that? I mean, the guy was throwing like 78 miles an hour. It was insane.
Yeah, but he was throwing that little goofy changeup, which I did love to watch. That was like really. It was
a miracle. Weird. People kept asking me advice about him early in the season. I'm like, get whatever you can now. Bail now. If you get out of this now, this thing is going to implode any day. And then by May, yes, he imploded. It was the end of that.
No, but Bautista's going to be in the bullpen. He looked really good in AAA last year, or in the minors in general last year.
That reminds me of Buck Martinez, by the way.
AAA. He looked really good.
Bautista.
Big strikeout guy, just has a killer fastball and a pretty solid splitter. And if he can control that fastball a little bit, it's like a 70 grade fastball. It's a great fastball. And that splitter can be a useful breaker. That's all you need is just those two pitches. That's my dark horse candidate.
You're telling me Felix Bautista is my Garrett Crochet replacement when the Sox finally put him on the GD IR, and I go pick him up and no one's watching because he is 0% rostered in Fantrax.
So Felix Bautista, I don't think he's day one. But I think
but I've got time.
Shocked if he ends up with some saves.
This you probably can't see. Available everywhere. Those are my dynasty leagues available.
Yeah,
and then some a-hole picked him up in one dynasty league.
He's my. I could see it. I think Jorge Lopez or Dylan Tate probably has the job right away.
Right,
but they're both very bad at pitching, which is unfortunately their job.
Super important to that role too. Super important.
Well, and here's the thing though, with like Dylan Tate, what is Dylan Tate good at? He throws a really hard fastball that he has no idea where it's going, and he has a slider that's pretty decent that he has no idea where it's going. You know, that's gonna get him out of a closer job real fast. And I mean, Bautista, it comes with a big if, and the big if is controlling that fastball. If he's throwing 100 miles an hour, but it's all over the place, doesn't matter. He's not going to have the job. But if he can, he has. When I look at these kinds of pitchers, I want to see raw talent, and then raw talent can be refined. And a team like the Orioles now, thank God, has the staff and knowledge to refine pitchers in a way they didn't have before. Now that Mike Elias is there, and they've built up an analytics department and everything. So Bautista has the raw talent. If he can rein in his control on that fastball and make that splitter somewhat consistent, I can see it. I think he looks like a closer to me. More than Jorge Lopez does, more than Dylan Tate does. So we'll see.
It's important. Appreciate it. That's a good one.
Yeah. Hell yeah, that's good stuff right there. Chris, I want to ask you, Michael Fulmer going to usurp Gregory Soto, in your opinion, as the closer?
God, I hope so.
Boy, I don't know. It's tough because, so I was just looking this up today. His fastball this spring is 91.9 miles per hour, whereas last season in the regular season, his slider was 91.2 miles per hour. He wasn't throwing very hard last spring either, so this just might be part of his process. And once the adrenaline kicks in, he's starting, mid-90s again. But I don't know. He's an interesting guy because he's another one who doesn't necessarily miss as many bats as you would think so, or as you would think, because the fastball got up there last year, but his strikeout rate wasn't as good as Soto's because it's really more of a two-seamer, and he kind of gets by having a starter's arsenal and big velocity there at the back of the bullpen. So I don't know. I guess the dark horse there to take saves from Soto would be Alex Lang, who also throws, his fastball average is 96, but his fastball gets crushed for some reason. I don't know if it's the shape of it or whatever, because it's got a decent spin rate, decent velocity, but his changeup and his slider curve are both pretty damn good pitches. So if he can just kind of, I don't know, pitch backward a little bit more, he might be able to take that role. But AJ Hinch named Soto his closer, but he also then said that doesn't mean I'm not going to use him in like the seventh inning if I need to. So I don't know. Hinch might just be your enemy there rather than any of the pitchers.
Yeah, it's very possible that'll be the case. I still think Fulmer could be the better guy by the end of the season. But, if Soto can actually be consistent and stay within what he's a two-pitch pitcher, it's very simple. Lefty closers aren't always the most popular or successful, but I don't really buy into it being just because he's a left-hander either. Billy Wagner was an amazing pitcher, but Billy Wagner also had incredible stuff, so it's not really fair for me to make that comp. I got to tell you guys, I'm going to have to wrap this show up because I have homework to do, believe it or not. It's due by 3 a.m., and it's 1:45 right now on the East Coast, so we've been on the air for 2 hours and 42 minutes, which is awesome, but I want to get quickly, because it's opening day, and this is a celebration. It's the first ever Palazzo Podcast, BOZOFEST, where we just talk about baseball. That's all it really is. It's not really that clever at all. And it's opening day. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to ask you who you think is going to be the big dominant pitcher of opening day. It could be Thursday or Friday because they're opening days for certain teams. And I want to know who's the starter that will be the most shining example of what pitching is all about for opening day. Robbie, I'm going to start with you. Put you on the spot here. Give me the starter who shines brightly on opening day 2022.
I'm going against my blue blood here, and I'm going with John Gray because everybody's excited to see him not be part of Colorado Rockies, but he's going against my Blue Jays. So
Coolers.
Yeah, former Coors. Now he's more like a Busch Light. What would it be in Texas? What would the Texas beer be?
Yeah,
Lone Star
that's a good
State. There's got to
question.
be a beer. Anyway,
There's a Lone
but-
Star beer. There used to be,
45?
anyways.
Colt.
It's got to be Colt 45, right?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Wow.
man.
By
But
the
yeah,
way, Davey
that's
Lou's
my
been
guy.
here the whole time. Davey Lou, I hope you know Chris Brown or Rogelio Castillo and what they do, because Dave's a local Detroiter. I met him last fall. I mentioned this earlier on the show, Chris, and he's been watching this whole damn thing. That's amazing, Dave. Good on you. So you're going with John Gray then, huh, Robbie?
Going with John Gray, and if I'm wrong, I still win because then the Blue Jays probably do. So there we go.
Oh, that's okay. You're cheating, but that's fine. I'll allow
I
that.
still want him. I own more John Gray than I do Blue Jays, or I roster more John Gray than Blue Jays. So yeah.
Sure you do. I mean, it's finally unleashed, free of that burden, of course. I'm with you there. I love it. I was in the John Gray fan club for many years, and it never worked out. Ray Butler, how do you see opening day for an elite starter or maybe an average starter? Not every starter who's starting on opening day is the best pitcher on each staff.
I'm interested to see Mcgill tomorrow night against the Nationals. I think that's a really interesting name, but I'm going to go chalk, and I'm going to go Corbin Burns dicing up the Cubs. I think that's a fairly easy one. I just drafted him in my main event, so I'm on the bandwagon, so I'll go chalk. Dices
Hey,
up the Cubs for 6 innings.
Not wrong going chalk, Ray. I love it. Are you almost done? You still drafting, by the way?
29th round. Got 2 more picks.
Ooh, okay. Who was your last pick? Can you share your last pick?
I just got the horrific Jorge Lopez.
He's not horrific. I mean, look, I want him to succeed.
Hey, I'll take saves any way I can get them. I don't care if I have to take a hit in ERA, if I have to take a hit in WHIP. Give me a couple saves early in the season, then we'll give the job to Felix Bautista. Just give me a couple saves before that.
I sure hope so.
That's so funny. That's how that worked out. We're talking about him. Ben, what about you? Who's your starter of the day for opening day 2022?
I like the Mcgill pick with that new cutter he's got. I'm really curious what it's going to look like. I think Burns is the obvious pick, but I'm going to go with the one who I want to be amazing on opening day, and that's Zach Greinke back in a Royals uniform against the Guardians. I would love to. I think it's possible against the Guardians lineup. And boy, wouldn't it be great to see Zach Greinke back in a Royals uniform just dominate on opening day? Like that would just be, it would be beautiful. That would be perfect. So that's my hope.
I would love
I think
that.
Burns is the obvious one against the Cubs. I think he's going to just own them, but I'm going to go with Greinke.
I love it. I would love to see Zach Greinke, twilight of his career, doing what he did, where it all started with that 70-mile-an-hour curveball back in the day. That's good stuff. I like that. Chris, what about you? Who you got as a wonderful option, opening day starter who shines through?
Well, if I can skip Thursday and go to Friday, I'm going to pick Aaron Nola against the A's. It's the A's, and I don't know if Kevin Smith inspires a lot of fear. I mean, I know he's had a decent spring, but I don't know. And you got to worry about the Phillies defense a little bit, but that's nothing new to Nola. I don't know. I think he'll pitch. I think he'll pitch pretty well against that lineup.
That's a solid choice. Can't go wrong with Mr. Aaron Nola. I'm going to go with Yu Darvish against the Diamondbacks in Arizona. I actually don't think the Diamondbacks are as terrible as they were last year or as people think they will be this year. However, in this situation, I'm taking Yu Darvish as an elite starter who I think was somewhat of a value. I took him in the main event as my number 2 starting pitcher around like 74. I think I took him 74 overall. So I expect Darvish to roll and set the tone for a new day, a new Padres season with Bob Melvin leading that squad. No more Jace Tingler and, disrespecting his own players and leaving them hanging out to dry and all that shit that he was involved with. Not a very good manager, I don't think, Mr. Tingler. It didn't work out. But that's my 2 cents. All right, now real quickly, too, I want the dong of the day. We did this earlier, so I want to get everyone, give me a guy who's going to crank a dong on Thursday or Friday opening day. We'll go with Ben first. Give me a guy.
I'm going to say Manny Machado hits one off Madison Bumgarner.
That's a fine choice. That's an excellent choice, actually. Same game. Jaybird says, no Wainwright love in the comments. Yeah, sorry. I don't think anybody...
Wainwright is so confusing to me. It is so strange to me that his little 88-mile-an-hour sinker was so good last year for no good reason. I mean, for a good reason, I guess. It induced a lot of weak contact, but I don't know, man. He's 40 years old and suddenly turns in the season he turned in last year. I don't know. He's confusing. I have no clue I truly do not know what to expect from him this year at all. He could do exactly what he did last year, and I'd say, okay. And he could do, have a 5.5 ERA, and I'd say, sure, that makes sense. I had no idea.
I can tell you what to expect. It's garbage. He's not going to do what he did last year. If he does it again, it'll blow my mind, and I will do anything. I will do whatever deed I need to do to pay homage to the amazingly, incredibly, still rolling
comments to say something. That's what he's going to do.
Yes, exactly. Seriously, it would blow my mind that much, Ben. It really would.
Someone say something.
Yeah, I'll eat glass, whatever. Something crazy.
Whoa!
Ray Butler. Yeah, I don't really want to do that. Yeah, I immediately regret saying that out loud. Ray Butler. Let's get Ray's dong of the day for opening day. Who's going to be?
I'm going to go Bryce Harper lowers Frankie Montaz's trade value a little bit and smacks one off him on opening day.
That's a fine choice. We'll see if the splitter is working or not for him early on. It might not be. Robbie Baseball, give me your dong. Is it going to be a Blue Jay? You got to give me a Blue Jay,
no,
right?
I'll go to the NL. Let's do Hunter Renfroe because I think good things are coming for Hunter Renfroe. And Cubs, I know they've got that veteran rotation, but it's not good at the baseball. So give me Renfroe.
Not a Drew Smiley believer this year.
I am not Drew smiling about that. No.
What about Chris Brown? Who's your dong?
Let's go with the newly paid Jose Ramirez against Zach Greinke. Leaning on one. No, I don't. Ruining a good story. It doesn't mean he can't win, but I think Jose Ramirez is gonna,
It'll be a solo home run. It'll be the only hit of the game.
Yeah, there
it is. Yes, yeah. That's well said, Ben. That's well said. Chris, while you're there, then World Series pick. Who do you got in the World Series? Give me your winner.
All right. Well,
no pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's easy enough to just say the Dodgers, right? I'll take the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Dodgers over Seattle.
I like the Seattle.
Let's see if they can make the playoffs first, but I would love to see that, Chris. I absolutely would enjoy that thoroughly. I'm pro Mariners. I'm rooting for them. It's been a long time. Robbie, World Series pick.
I got the Angels beating the Cardinals. Ohtani, baby. Yeah.
I've said on this podcast at least 5 times over the last month, I think the Angels will actually make the playoffs. I can't go that bold, but I'm with you to a certain extent.
They can't be that bad again because they have too many good hitters for them to all be hurt or bad. So maybe they'll beat Seattle in 7, something like that. Because I love me some Mariners this year too.
Yeah, the AOS is a lot of fun. Besides the Astros, of course. I'm with you. I love it. That's what this show's all about, man. Opening day fever. You just gave me chills with that pick. I like it. Mr. Butler, Ray Butler, who you got in the World Series?
I'm going to go with the Blue Jays over the Dodgers. I'll go chalk in the NL, but Blue Jays, I think they've got the rotation to do it. They obviously have the offense to do it, I think. They've got a couple of underrated pieces in the bullpen. I think they add to that before the deadline and go on a run. And that's a fun team to go on a run, too.
Hell yeah. I would love to see that, man. Blue Jays, when they were doing their thing in the ALCS back in 2015 with Bautista and the bat flips, and that was you were there, Robbie. That was a wild scene. I know Ben didn't like that because he was an Orioles guy.
Because goddamn Buck Showalter wouldn't put Zach Britton in a
Look, you don't need to play the matchups, okay?
Man, but here's the thing, though, real quick. Ubaldo Jimenez, of anyone,
big contract,
pick someone out of the crowd instead of putting Ubaldo Jimenez in at that point. Have Chris Davis pitch. Jesus.
He wasn't ready to pitch yet. He wasn't ready to pitch yet.
Yeah. I just.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd feel bad for you, Ben, but you knocked out the Tigers in 2014, so I don't.
Oh, boy. And was that. I still will watch the Delman Young double sometime.
Delman fucking Young. So stupid. This guy can't.
The only good thing Delman Young has ever done. I will watch that. So if I'm just feeling down, sometimes I'll just go to YouTube and look up the Delman Young double and just watch it. That and the Mile High Miracle, Ravens and Broncos. Those are my two sources of joy in sports, just randomly on YouTube.
There's nothing scarier in the playoffs than a hitter who swings at everything. Because sometimes you make contact. Delman Young's playoff stats are like amazingly good compared to the rest of his career because he swung at everything. And I don't know, guys, we're trying not to put him on base for some reason, and there you go.
Oh, what a beautiful, incredible
sad
moment.
Hashtag sad. Yeah, that's a bummer. All right, and Ben, who you got in the series?
Give me a World Series of Brewers versus Blue Jays with the Brewers winning.
I would love that. If we got a Brew Crew Blue Jays World Series, I'd love that.
Yeah,
I like that. You guys are all about the Jays. That's great. It's making me feel bad being a fan that I'm not.
No, you're not supposed to pick your team. You got to be paranoid. You're supposed to do that.
Be cynical, especially as a Blue Jays fan. Got to be cynical.
And having watched Ryu pitch and having seen Gosman second half, I've got concerns.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched plenty of Gosman. Don't worry.
That's where it all began. That's where it all started.
Yeah, you saw the first part. Yeah. That's what I'm concerned with is that. Yeah.
Kevin Gosman and Dylan Bundy were the saviors of the Orioles.
That's right.
You know what I do remember?
Jake Arrieta.
I went to an Orioles fan fest, and they had a panel where they said the future of the Orioles. It was the pitching rotation. It was Jake Arrieta. It was Brian Mattis. It was Brad Burgesson. It was Chris Tillman. And oh man, I'm blanking on the fifth guy. It was like part of this like crew of young guys. They're like, this is the future of the rotation. And yeah, that all turned out great. Brian Mattis. Can't miss with that guy. It's gonna be a star.
Yeah, well,
you have failed.
I remember the Bedard Cabrera. There was another arm in there that was supposed to be big too.
Yeah, in that five, I wish I could remember who it was, but like, yeah, Brad Burgesson, who was good until he got hit by a baseball, and then like that just derailed his career. But Tillman, Arrieta kind of turned out well, I guess. But for the Orioles, Tillman was the only one who turned into anything.
Right, and it wasn't even that. Yeah,
it wasn't that good.
That is what could have been. That's a big what if in baseball history. If the Orioles could have handled that differently, or if those guys just weren't who they were, who's to say for sure? All I do know is I love doing this show. This was a ton of fun. We did almost 3 damn hours. Opening day fever is at a high pitch right now. I want to thank Ray Butler, Robbie Baseball, Ben Palmer, and Chris Brown, and all the other dudes and dudettes who came through here today. All you guys who commented in the comments, the live chat. This is great. This is exactly what I wanted it to be, and I would do it for 4 more hours, but life goes on. So I thank everybody for the Palazzo Podcast original debut, BOZOFEST, Opening Day Eve 2022. Thanks, everybody. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah.
And that's where you can find all the information you need to know about the show. And anybody else that you saw on the show, go back and follow every single one of these people. It will only enhance and improve your fantasy baseball knowledge. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Go over here.